What does it say at the bottom of my screen now?
Smurl.
Sweet. That's me. Look how I'm so bright. Look, I did good. I set it
Yeah,
up, dude.
I
Yeah, yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
Okay.
is that a bass guitar behind you right there?
Yes, it is. It
Okay.
is a bass guitar
Look,
behind
I
me.
also have a bass guitar with me.
Oh, wow. What is that?
It's a cheap ass bass guitar.
This is also a cheap ass bass guitar.
What brand is it?
It's a Squire.
Okay, so that's not that cheap. This is a Minsign.
Oh, okay. Minsign. Sure. Where's that manufactured?
It's manufactured on Amazon.com.
Oh, is it really?
No, I don't know where it's
Oh, I was
manufactured.
gonna say, when did they start manufacturing
I could,
instruments?
this will be the beginning of the show because I brought this along to talk about this, like why I have this because I did not have this prior to this week.
Oh, you just got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice.
Anyway, so like
So let's talk.
I was gonna say I got this because I had a different super cheap bass
Okay.
that I'd let my kid borrow when they were doing Rock Band at school, and it got kind
Oh
of
yeah.
fucked up. It got jostled around, and all the knobs had gotten loose and stuff. And then when I opened it up to see if I could fix it, I realized that everything was glued and not screwed. And I was like, "Oh, this thing is a mess. I'm just going to get a different one." And so, but the reason why I wanted it was because, like, this whole thing of like the musical journey, talking to you about music and stuff like that, it got my brain. My brain has been moving about this stuff for months now. So much so that I've gone through the whole. It's almost like I'm going through like AA of being like a musician. And, and so it's like I reached the point where I accepted that I wasn't happy with what I was doing and I didn't want to be the vocalist in my band. And the more that I sort of dug into stuff, I started to think, well, what do you like? What do you like? And I was just like, well, every time I pick up a bass guitar and play with a bass guitar, or if I record bass guitar parts for any of my songs,
Yeah.
that's always the most fun that I have. And I feel like I wasted my life trying to be a guitar player
Sure.
because I never got any better than like Kurt Cobain level guitar, which is I love Kurt Cobain, but I've never been better than that. So I was like, well, one day I was just thinking about it. I go, well, what if maybe I'm approaching everything all wrong? And maybe what I need to do is to unlearn what I think I'm supposed to be doing when I'm creating music and recording music. And so
Right.
I was like, you know what? I think what I should do, I'm going to start writing songs on bass guitar with the intention of them not necessarily being like, I'm not going to focus so much on structure and writing stuff that's going to have some sort of catchy melody. I'm just going to
Mhm.
try to make fucking loud, weird, heavy music. And not only that, once I get to that point, I'm going to fuck with like cuz one of my biggest things that I don't like much about my music is the fake drums. The fake
Oh
drums.
yeah. Sure, 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 sure.
I don't
Sure,
like
sure,
fake drums. And so I'm like, well, I could fuck with that too. I've got shitloads of different drum sounds and percussion sounds that I could use. And I could literally,
sure.
like, why do I feel like I need to make it a drum kit sound? And why do I feel like I can't use sounds that don't go together? So I was just like,
Why?
that sounds like fun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, totally.
why
Totally.
wouldn't I use an 808 with a,
Why
with
wouldn't
a,
you use that?
with a jazz snare? I don't know.
There you go.
Or some-
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
so I started to mess around with the bass, and then I realized that the one I had was fucked up. So I got this one. And then as I was fucking up, I started playing the bass to a particular song. And I'm not going to go into it because I don't want the surprise. I don't want the
Okay.
surprise to be ruined. But I started to
Oh,
play. I
this is
started to play.
surprise.
I started to play a different artist's song, and I was like, it'd be really cool to do a cover of this song because I could really fuck with it. And it's not
Yep.
it's not a metal song by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I think this is going to be my way back in. I'm going to like record kind of my own version of some particular song that
Perfect.
isn't anything that anyone would expect me to cover. And then
Perfect.
that got my brain going to another song that I always wanted to cover that is also not like anything I would have done. And I was like,
Okay.
cool. I'm literally going to record like a single, A side, B side of two different cover songs that are both very different from anything that I would normally be doing, but I'm going to put my own spin on them.
Right
And
on.
so I've started working on those, on these two cover songs. They're both from bands that dabble in the experimental.
Okay.
They're not metal or even hard rock bands.
Perfect.
And so that lit a fire into me where I'm like, oh, cool, I want to do this now. I want to like, and so like that'll kind of be my way in, is like I'm going to record these songs where I don't have to write anything, and vocally speaking on both of them, I can do it. And so I'm like, well, yeah. And then going in the whole recording process, I can just fuck with how things sound and just have fun with it, and then throw it out there, and then maybe that'll light the match again, or light the fire that gets me like moving. And like maybe I just need to be creating music differently than I did before, because I still approach it like I'm going to show these songs to a bass player, guitar, other guitar player, and a drummer, and be like, here's the arrangement, here's how I like but I don't have to do that. I literally can use the technology at my disposal, and I can chop and mix up and fucking reverse shit, or decide that like I want to have a song where there isn't a chorus. Who the fuck cares? It's so I
Nobody.
just yeah. So it really kind of got me going. And so like once I got this bass, which it's not great, it cost a little over $100 for this bass, so it's not much, but it sounds fine and it will serve a purpose, and it's going to kind of help me get going into whatever this next phase of music is going to be. But I know I have to approach it in the way of don't write things with the intention of having these big vocals. Like you're not going to sound like these other people that you're wanting to sound like. You're always going to sound like you, and you're not going to be happy with that. And so start working to your strengths. It's like, because like I always think that I'm supposed to be able to do these high notes and powerful vocals, and then I hear other vocalists like I don't know, Mark Lanigan, like somebody like that, and I'm like, that guy sings real low. Well, he did. He's dead. Rest in peace. But he like sings real low, and he has like a gruff sound, and he doesn't ever try. I mean, his high notes are still really low, and and the music and everything just went perfectly with what he was doing, because he's like, well, this is how I sound, and I'm like, all right, cool. So yeah, so it really it's a journey to figuring all that shit out, and this little cheap ass bass guitar is going to be part of it. So
Perfect. That's awesome. I'm so glad you just jump started into something new. And so I would like to say that this bass right here was a attempt to start writing songs again, because I kind of feel that when you're in a music store or whatever, you get a hold of an instrument that you like the feel of, right? I feel like it's already got songs in it.
yeah.
And you just have to shake it enough. And if it's screwed, not glued, and it doesn't come apart, you could get some songs out of the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
This motherfucker's probably glued too, but it's just one of those, when it breaks, I'll just get another one.
Anyway, that's awesome that you should do that. That's great, man. That's perfect. That's so awesome. Yeah, you just like just you just shake up your head and just try it from another angle. And a lot of times it's like kind of frustrating or whatever, but it's usually like beneficial, because it just the juice is flowing, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You got to do that. That's awesome, dude. That's great. And I'm glad you did. It's weird. We were talking about your voice earlier, and then you start talking about Mark Lanigan. Because Mark Lanigan, maybe I'd start singing like Mark Lanigan. Might be awesome. But yeah, you don't.
One of my favorites, fucking, what's his name? Richard Butler, is that his name? From Psychedelic?
Oh,
from
dude, the fucking greatest, man. And every song's the same, but he's got that voice. He just lets you have it, man. You know what I mean?
That's funny that I brought that shit up.
Okay, why? Funny how?
I went to the record store with my kid today, and I found this.
Oh, so good. That is such a good record.
And it's an old school copy of it too.
Can I see the back? Can you show me the back, please?
Yeah, it's the one with "Love My Way" on it.
Yeah, that is such a good song, man.
Yeah,
Love My Way is so good.
I already have "Talk Talk Talk," which is my favorite for his album. But this is
yes.
I used to like listen to the Psychedelic Furs all the time, like in my 20s, but I've never gone to like get all their stuff on vinyl now.
Is Heaven on there? I'm sorry. Is Heaven on that
Heaven is
one?
on the next one.
The next one.
Mirror Moves. It's on Mirror Moves.
Yeah. Mirror Moves, right. Which is, by the way, like I think one of the greatest songs of all times.
Funny enough, I did a cover of that song when I was in my 20s. And it's poorly recorded, but you know, it is what it is. Because I did like a self-produced album that I recorded on my own in like 2000, I think it was. And it's half of it's junk, but the other half is pretty good. But I recorded like 3 different cover songs and picked one to be like the hidden track on the CD, because you know that's what people were doing. So I did Heaven by Psychedelic Furs. Yeah. Jinx Removing by Jawbreaker, which is like a really great song. And then the one that I settled on that's on it is Great Big No by the Lemonheads.
Oh, wow.
Another guy that sings low, and he like
sings very low, right?
Yeah. Mr. Evan Dando. Yeah.
Yeah. Evan Dando, dude.
Peace, man.
Peace, man. He's Evan Dando, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and cover tunes are another great way to get going, right? Because I mean, like, I don't know about you, but when you were, you taught yourself to play, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And how did you do that?
Playing along to Nirvana, Black Sabbath, Helmet, Rage Against the Machine, like a lot of those things.
Covering, dude. You were covering songs, man. You know,
and
just trying to work.
The funny thing is, once I started being in bands,
yeah,
my thing when I was a teenager,
sure,
was covering 80s pop songs, but making them punk. So we did like Phil Collins and Lionel Richie and stuff like that in my bands.
The Circle Jerks were the best at that. The Circle Jerks could put together some really good like pop song punk versions, which was really great. Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah,
and I also like polka versions of punk songs. That seems to be a good one too.
I'm not into that necessarily, but
sure.
I get really annoyed. I don't get annoyed at it anymore because now I don't work in an office. But for years, I would work in an office, and as soon as anyone in the office either saw me or discovered that I like metal, the first thing you do is not like, oh, here's a metal band that you may not know. No, they don't send me that. They're like, have you heard the polka version of Rain and Blood by Slayer? And I'm like, can I listen to the real one? I don't want to listen to the polka version of anything. Except for when Weird Al does it. Then I'm good.
I was going to say, dude, right? And isn't there like some really...
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some real good Snoop Dogg too, right? That's kind of folky polka, something like that.
It's Snoop Dogg. I have Snoop.
No, I mean somebody... Okay.
Oh, I was like, I have Snoop Dogg's R&B soul album that he did.
Okay.
It was actually.
But aren't there some versions of Snoop Dogg songs that are kind of folk and punk? Isn't there? I don't know, man. Maybe it doesn't matter, man. I'm not even going to go down this trail because I got to know. Go ahead.
It's because they took all their stuff from P-Funk, and the P is for polka.
Oh, but it isn't.
No. It could be. In an alternate universe.
Sure.
Bootsy on the bass is just going boom, 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 boom. All right.
Wow, that guy's great. But I hope he still has those sunglasses that look like stars. Those are the best.
Probably.
Yeah, man. Right on.
Anyway.
Right on.
So
dude, what's going on?
That was one of my what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, dude, what's happening in Texas?
We fucking just had a presidential rally here in my city.
Okay, which one?
It was Kamala Harris was here, and
great.
She brought out fucking Beyonce and Willie Nelson. So
sweet, we're gonna win that election for sure.
Yeah, but like,
yeah,
it was. But like, I bet it was a fucking madhouse because this city is already like fucked when it comes to like traffic and events happening. but like an event where apparently a 1.5 million people RSVP'd to it. So, yeah.
Was it outdoor?
It was at a soccer stadium, or the soccer stadium in Houston. So,
but still does not hold 1.5 million people.
So obviously not everybody got in.
Okay.
But I think 30,000 people got in or something like that.
It's a fucking tailgate party, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one.
Anyway.
Okay.
But yeah. So when we do these shows, the one thing I love is I don't ever want to do an intro or say the show name, ever.
Then I won't say it. I'm glad we talked about that first. Yeah, don't ever. I'm not even sure I can pronounce it.
Yeah, neither can I. But
yeah, I could. Have you made your phone say it? Have you looked it up and made your phone say it? Oh,
no,
good.
I'm worried about that.
Oh, it's so good. It's good. Don't worry about it. One of my favorite parts about that was that person left a comment under the last one we did. It was like, my nickname was when I was on DeviantArt. Have you ever seen that website, DeviantArt?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that site. That's good. That's a nice place.
Yeah.
But anyway, nice that somebody was like, that's my screen name.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I was going to say is that like that, the whole story about the bass guitar, like the way that I'm kind of approaching these things with you is like, as the weeks build up to us doing this, I'm just thinking of things I want to talk about. And I'm just like sort of putting them in a list. So that way, like there is some kind of planning, but it's not like I have to talk about these things so it can organically become whatever the fuck it wants to become. If we want to do an entire episode where we talk about the best episodes of The Office, I don't know, something like that.
Sure. And I've never even seen the American one. Is the American one funny?
Yeah, it's I'm not a huge fan. I like the British one a lot. The American one is utterly enjoyable all the way through.
Okay.
But it has moments of brilliance as it moves on. But the original Office to me was just brilliance from beginning to end. Like it was just absolutely hilarious to me. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I believe you and I have had a talk about Ricky Gervais before. Wasn't that a topic that we had to talk about?
We may.
Yeah. He comes up, doesn't he? Yeah, that show it's fantastic. And I used to, this is because I got it on DVD box set when I watched the because my brother-in-law lent it to me, and so I would watch a couple episodes during the day or whatever, and then like Jessica would be at work and she'd come home, and then she'd start talking to me, and I'd be like, must have been weird or whatever. She's like, have you been watching that show? And I was like, yes, it's so weird. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I can't even.
It's a rough first watch because, especially when it came out, because when it came out, like there weren't tons of those kind of shows where there was everything was awkward, and so like it was a surprise at first, but
yeah. God, oof, and it never didn't do it.
Yeah,
it almost never gave you a relief, and you're just like, oh, it's just one right after the other.
I always said that like that for the 2 seasons or whatever. Is it the second season? And either way, I always said that the show takes you through, and you're constantly uncomfortable, and you're like, look, I'm really uncomfortable. Can you give me a different emotion? And they're like, sure. Last episode, sadness.
I know. You're just like crying. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, dude.
I'm like, how did you make me emotional about this douchebag character?
Totally. Yeah. And I think every one of his shows has been great, man. I follow him around. I mean, I know his stand-up is getting edgy or whatever. It's like people are kind of whatever, but
it's never been super funny to me, his stand-up. But
right, but but man, that time he emceed the
Golden Globes.
Oh no, or whatever, the Academy Awards or whatever, dude.
Golden Globes.
Was it the Golden Globes? There was no coming back off of that. Like everybody else just seems so tame. You know what I mean? It was like he just really went to town. That was awesome.
Yeah, all of the shit that he said, and then Chris Rock is the one who gets smacked for making a bald joke. I mean, mind you, it was a shit joke, but still, it was a
no reason to get hit in the face though.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. How is Will? Is he fine?
I mean, the new Bad Boys movie came out and people love it. So
Okay, so they're not talking about it anymore. Chris talked about it. That was a pretty funny stand-up he did when he talked about that. Yeah.
I think it's very apparent to those of us who've been paying attention that things are not great in Will's private life. Because every time you turn around, there's another story where like his wife has been cheating on him or something, and apparently she's still obsessed with Tupac. Because they had, I guess they had kind of a thing together or something. And I'm like, well, he's dead, so he's not, putting out at all.
No, that's going to be hard to consummate anything in that relationship.
Yeah, and plus, Will's like, why you like that kind of rapper? Why can't you into the Fresh Prince? Anyway.
Wow, now I'm like imagining a rap battle between Will Smith and Tupac, and I'm somehow seeing a very clear victor.
I don't know if you go back. Like I've got a lot of Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince on vinyl. I grew up with them, but like there are so many songs where you hear Will rapping and you're like, "Motherfucker was so good."
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he had chops.
Yeah, but
definitely had chops.
Tupac chops, though. I don't know. Maybe he did.
I don't know. Tupac just seems a little bit like he would be like, well, I would put money on him. Let's just put it that way. And I have nothing against Will Smith.
No.
Because I don't even know the guy. I've never met him. Never been in the same room with him.
That's why I think it's great when people judge like people's personal lives that have nothing to do with them. And I'm just like,
Zero.
You don't really know the ins and outs of what's going on with this person. Like you can, and like, I can understand, you can look at it and go, he shouldn't have slapped Chris Rock. Absolutely. Because we all saw 100%. That happen.
We did.
It's the same thing.
My daughter saw that happen. We were all just watching the show and then whap, that was like amazing.
It's like the thing with Dave Grohl. Like Dave Grohl came out and said that he had a baby with a woman he cheated on his wife with. And everyone is just like getting into this, like, oh my God, you hurt my heart because I was invested in you as this nice person. I'm like, you don't fucking know him. He can still be a nice person. We don't know what the fuck's happening in his life. So people make mistakes all the time. Why don't you allow people to redeem themselves? And if he doesn't, if he came out and said, do it again, fuck you, then he's a shit person, and then fuck him.
This is your Ted Nugent theory.
My Ted Nugent thing, yeah.
Yeah, I like this. This is good. So you're applying it to other people.
There are some things that are unforgivable. We've talked about that. Like you can't come back from certain things. I don't care if Harvey Weinstein comes out and says, like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Nah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. But other things where nobody was harmed, maybe emotionally harmed, but not physically harmed or physically oppressed or something like that, then I think I will allow somebody the chance.
Of course.
To redeem themselves. But other than that.
I've been forgiven for stuff, it's pretty good. Well, I was having a good conversation. Well, nothing like that, but this is pretty amazing because I was thinking whenever something happens, I always go I always go, ooh, like would I have done that, or if it was okay. So for instance, I played in a band and I wanted to get signed and we got signed. Really? Yeah, I did. And we got signed and let's say we would have made it. Let's just say we would have made it. You don't know. I mean, the odds were really against us. Trust me, I understand. Now listen, but let's just pretend, in a world, you know what I mean? In a world, right? So so let's just say I'm now the singer for like a famous band.
You are now like Eddie Vedder status. You're like that.
Sure. But Eddie seems nice. I'm sure maybe Eddie hasn't fucked up, right? He seems good, right? But anyway, let's pick another one. David Lee Roth. Let's pick David Lee Roth because that's, he
fucked up.
I'm sure he fucked up, right? Okay, for sure. So, but would I have done that? Do you know what I mean? Like if it was acceptable in my genre of life and I was successful, even ugly guys, when it's successful, become desirable or whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm just saying.
People fucked Michael Anthony. So shit, man. It's clear.
You're right. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
I did.
Michael, I
So
love
that
you.
was the weird part. No, no, it was okay. So here's the deal though. Like I was thinking when I was talking to a friend of mine, we were driving around, and I was like, I don't think I would have done like we were talking about P. Diddy, you know?
Oh yeah,
Uh yeah. And I'm like, man, because like for instance, I don't want to have power over another person.
yeah,
There's nothing in here that says I want to have, I want to manipulate you to where I control what you do. Like I just don't have that. That's not a gear I have because when people do it to me, it feels weird. And then I figure if I did that to someone else, that would make them feel sad. So why even get there? And I don't have to do that. I don't have to do anything off of. I want to collaborate with people. Do you know what I'm saying? And not
yeah,
compete with people. So
yeah,
I'm thinking, even if like money happened or what fame or whatever,
yeah,
I'm assuming that I would not have done those things because I
yeah.
never sit around and think like, how can I get away with, like, like, I don't know, manipulating someone or abusing someone. It just doesn't that
Yeah.
make you feel gross, right?
Yeah, I've thought about that too because I was even less of a success than you were. So,
Congratulations. But look at you now, buddy.
but yeah, but
Right.
but
Yeah.
but I know for sure. Like if you're talking about let's say it's the scenario of the stories that you hear about Van Halen concerts where they would pull women out of the crowd and have them ready underneath the stage for them to go
Sure.
bang them after the
Sure.
show.
Sure.
I've
Sure.
learned the thing about me that it's kind of like my flaws or issues connected to my neuroses or whatever have guaranteed that would never be my life
Oh,
because
for
I would
sure.
be going down off of the stage and a woman would have taken all of her clothes off and been like fuck me and I would have been like look nothing's gonna happen here because I'm nervous as hell.
I don't know you.
Yeah,
What's your name? What's
yeah.
your name? Like whatever,
When
that
did you
kind of thing.
last take a bath? Come on.
All right, right. Because women are not objects, right?
Yeah.
They're people, right? I mean, that's the deal, right? So if like
Yeah.
people are not objects, they're people, then obviously you're not just going to do that stuff because they're not just a receptacle for whatever you want. You know what I mean? And that goes with
Yeah.
men, animals, whatever
Yeah.
you're into. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
just my anxiety and my self consciousness and all of this stuff. I still think it would have been there to some degree, even if I was a rock star. I don't think all
Oh,
of a
for
sudden
sure.
everything would have just been fixed.
Right.
I feel like I would have been closer to bring him up again, Kurt Cobain than a
Oh, for
David
sure.
Lee Roth.
Oh, 100%.
But I think I still would have partied. I would have been more of a partier probably.
I would have partied. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think
for
that I
sure.
would have.
Yeah. Like
Especially
here's
in a case of like if I did get invited to Pete at his house and shit started getting weird, I'd be the first person. I'd be like Denzel Washington. The story is he's like fuck you when he leaves. So
Oh, really? Dude, I haven't been pinned that close. So Denzel went and he said no to that shit and left.
well, I think that's a story from a long time ago where he publicly came out and said, Diddy should be ashamed of himself for the way he treats people or some shit like that.
Right.
I
Okay.
trust Denzel. I'm gonna tell you, I trust him. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, I trust him too.
Sometimes the way that he talks, I'm just like, I feel like you're telling me the truth. You sound like a truth.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Sure. And he's got a bunch of badass movie parts to back that up. So it's like, okay, yeah, that dude's cool. That's awesome.
That is true.
Yeah.
That makes me think of like I need to like I would call myself a fairly big Spike Lee fan, but
Yes.
there are movies from his career that I have not gone back to watch that were kind of went way over my head when I was a kid. So like I never went back to watch Jungle Love, not Jungle Love, Jungle Fever.
Jungle Fever.
Jungle Fever and He Got Game, a couple from around that time. I never went back to watch again. But I loved like School Days and Do the Right Thing. But like there's and I've seen a lot of his other movies too. And I've always Like even the movies of his where I go, compared to your other ones, this isn't great. I'm so like, I had a great time. I was like, because I love that he's like, he doesn't just drive home a point. Like he like nails the point into the wall and the wall is attached to your forehead. And he's just like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, dude, totally, man. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. Spike Lee joint, dude. You want to see all the Spike Lee joints, you know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was a little bit sad that he did. Was it an American Express commercial? Did he go for there seems like he did a heavy duty financial commercial. And have you ever, do you listen to Bill Hicks at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking love Bill Hicks. What's that thing he goes?
Talking about the Willie Nelson thing?
Oh, yes. If you do a commercial, you're off the artistic roll call forever. Yeah. Right? You know, that whole kind of thing. It just hurts my heart when I see Willie Nelson singing that Taco Bell jingle or whatever, like, oh, Willie, no, Willie.
Bill Hicks from Texas. He's from here.
He is.
He's from a small town, though. I don't remember what town he is actually from, but I grew up watching him because on our access television stations, they would constantly show not only videos of his stand-up while he was still alive, but they would also show these bizarre fucking movies that he made, like Ninja Bachelor Party and shit like that.
Nice.
You should look that up if you get a chance. Go to YouTube and look up Bill Hicks Ninja Bachelor Party. It's just wild. But anyway, what was I going to say?
Life-changing. Doesn't matter. What were you going to say? Tell me. Talk to me.
I don't remember. Oh, I was going to say, do you not remember that even in the 90s, at the peak of his career, Spike Lee was doing Nike commercials and shit like that?
Yeah, that's right. He was.
Yeah, he did. But he directed the commercials. Does that count? Did I just ruin?
Yeah, what? Why do I feel like a multinational global shoe manufacturer is better than, or didn't register as much as a multinational financial agency?
I mean, sometimes we are forced to live in this version of capitalism that we're in, and unfortunately, you have to accept certain things. That is one thing that I can fully say that I would do. If I became a rock star and they said, hey, do you want to be in this like Chipotle commercial? I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Why Chipotle?
Whatever. And I was naming a place I don't
I'm going to eat the bowl. I'm not going to eat the burrito. I'm going to get the bowl. I draw the line at the burrito.
I don't really like Chipotle. I was just thinking of a place that I don't really like. I would still do.
That's McDonald's, right?
Yeah. But
I'll see.
I'd rather eat McDonald's than Chipotle because a burrito should not be that big in my opinion. That's fucking overkill.
No, that's why you get the bowl, dude.
Yeah, you're right. Next time I go, I'm going to get a bowl. But
get the bowl. Yeah.
But I'm sure I would do commercials. Especially in like that movie Lost in Translation where Bill Murray goes to Japan. I'm like, I'll be like, this is. I can do like for the cheap ass vodka I have. Gordon's.
Oh, nice.
For relaxing times.
That's nice.
Make it Gordon's.
You got to make it Gordon's. It's good. It's so good. Gordon's is good. Right.
I don't even know what this is. I bought it because it was the cheapest one.
Well, what were you? You were hawking some tequila or something last time. Dude, are you getting secret sponsorships from these people?
No, I go to the store. I go to the store and I'm like, I think I want to do some vodka this time. And then I look at the names that I know and I go, that's way too expensive. Look at this. There's
very expensive.
Gordon's for $10 for that much vodka. It's like,
is that in plastic bottle?
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's
plastic,
dude. That's where I draw the line, dude. I gotta buy glass.
I want my poison in a glass bottle. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. Because ting, it's got that thing. So I just would like to say that I go out of my way to cover up logos on your channel.
Why?
Because I'm not gonna hawk
pepper.
No, I'm not gonna say.
Is it an alcoholic beverage?
No, it's not.
Why?
But I go out of my way. I take labels off of things so that there's no advertisement that you do not accept on Old Head Channel.
I accept any advertisement as long as it's not propaganda. That's the only one.
Right.
I've been so fucking pissed because I got my, I have my radio station that I have.
Yes, Old Head Radio Station. Yes.
Pretty soon there's going to be an app that you can literally download. Like if you have an Apple or an Android, you download the Old Head Radio app and you just open it and listen to my radio station anytime you want, directly from that app. It's going to be cool. Anyway,
did Gordon's pay for it?
No, well, they paid. No, they paid for tonight for tonight's show.
Right.
Okay. No, anyway, on my channel, in order to make a little bit of money, which I don't make yet because there's not enough listeners, there's 30 seconds of commercials.
This is not going to help. This is not going to.
Anyway, there's 30 seconds of commercials for every 20 to 30 minutes of music or something like that.
Sure.
And most of the time it's like, shop Kroger and you can get a discount on beef or whatever. And then, but there started to be these commercials where it's like these women going like, my husband can't vote because he was murdered by illegals. And it's like, vote out these Democratic judges that are letting criminals out on the streets. And I'm just like, I didn't approve of this. Why is this?
Yeah, can you pick? Can you opt out?
I already messaged them about it, and they said they don't have any control over the ads that play. The people just buy the time, and then they play their ad that's approved by some other ad agency. So apparently it was just approved by whoever approves ads and said it was fine. But whatever. Anyway.
Wow, so they even taking into account your demographic or like any of that kind of stuff?
Nobody listens to my station. Like,
here's
the thing. I do have some listeners. Okay. There's one listener in like Alberta, Canada, who listens all the time. There's somebody.
Sure.
There's a few different areas where people listen, just not a lot. But hopefully, when the app comes out, that can change because I can send like push notifications to people, and I can be like, "Hey, tonight, an hour of old school hip hop. Tune in," or like I'm going to start doing live radio shows again. I used to do that for a while. Nice. And I'll start promoting that and be like, download my app, and then you'll get a notification when I go live on air, and you can go listen to my show. But
Old Head.
Yeah.
Old Head.
I mean, if you listen to it.
Right.
That's what they sound like.
I got to get on this thing.
The interstitials. So there's like, what do you call them? IDs, like radio IDs. I actually have those.
Sure.
Whereas there's like 3 or 4 that I made myself, and then I've reached out to like people I know, like Jason McMaster from like Dangerous Toys and stuff. He did one, and Phil Wren from Sacred Reich did one. And who's the other one that's kind of Jason Bieler, who was in Saigon Kick back in the day. He still does a lot of great music. And they literally do that. You're listening to Old Head Radio thing, So
nice, dude.
Yeah. So
you need Dr. Johnny Fever. You should get him to do one. Is he still alive?
I'm gonna get Wolfman Jack.
Wolfman Jack. Yeah.
All right.
Venus Flytrap.
No.
Right. No. Dude, that guy's hair was awesome.
Yeah. I guess that's what they call him, the Wolfman.
Yeah. I thought it was his beard.
Oh, who the fuck?
It's his hair?
I don't know.
I thought maybe it was his pointy ears, or that he had a tail, or that he killed an elk raw.
Very well could have been the tail.
I think it's because
it's just the fact that every time he saw a hot lady, his eyes went. Just rolled out onto the table every time it happened.
So awesome. So
wolves.
awesome.
Anyway,
hey, I was talking to someone about Chernobyl the other day, and aren't there like weird red-eyed wolves that live in Chernobyl now or whatever? Like some wolves moved back into like a heavy nuclear area, and now they're like super wolves or whatever. I'm making that part up, I guess. I don't know, but like what?
That sounds like a cool fucking movie, though. Like,
doesn't it?
Like, yeah, like
yeah.
No, that's get to work, Hollywood. I mean, occasionally I have such great ideas for movies, and I don't know who to talk to. I don't know any movie people.
Right. P. Diddy didn't introduce you to anybody in the I'm kidding. No, he didn't. Me and Denzel went to one of those parties, and he walked out, so I walked out because I'm just going to do what Denzel does.
Yeah, you're like they put a guy in a dog collar, and I was done.
I was done. Nah, that's do you? I guess, but I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not here. Yeah, right.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Or don't do you? Yeah. Or no, just do you?
Don't. How about don't do anybody? Just
no, I'm saying if you're going to do it to yourself. Just do it. All right.
Do you, as
Uh,
in go fuck yourself, Diddy?
Go fuck yourself. Right. It's so hard, isn't
Yeah.
it? Life is so hard,
Well,
you
the
know?
good thing is I've never really been a P Diddy fan. Um, although
Me either.
although I do have one 12-inch single of P Diddy of a song that's an absolute banger, and I refuse to get rid of it. And that's
Okay.
that we ain't going nowhere. We ain't go nowhere. We can't
You
be
like that one?
because it's bad boy for life. Remember that one? That's
Yeah, that's the cover that you're doing, isn't it?
a banger. That's it. That's gonna be it. Yeah.
What appropriate timing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It's
Yeah.
all for clicks, man. It's all for clicks.
No, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that. I'm gonna do that awful police cover they did back in the day for Biggie.
Oh,
It's terrible. I was so
oh
mad.
man.
So mad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I was, not that Biggie should have died. I mean, he was a very talented dude. I actually like Biggie over
Oh,
Tupac.
okay. Well, I am not disagreeing with you
Mhm.
because he was like, yeah,
His delivery
it's
was great.
it is very difficult to, I mean, when the guy's got that, he had it.
He had it. It was
Yeah,
all
he
a
had it.
dream. I used to
Yeah.
read Word Up magazine. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a.
Yeah.
I never, I
That's
never,
it.
I never read Word Up magazine because I could never find it in the stores when I was a kid.
No, it's not in the grocery store. Not in the
Well,
rack there in the grocery store.
there was a little like drugstore down the street from my house that nowadays it would be the equivalent of like a CVS or Walgreens or something like that. But it was called Revco,
Oh,
and
yeah, Revco.
and they
Revco. Mhm.
and they had a magazine section, and I would buy like Metal Maniacs or Metal Edge. Those were the metal ones. But they never had I guess because like the area I lived in at that point was considered North Austin, which was white people central. So there was they didn't have any black magazines there. So,
Oh, segregated newsstand? That's horrible. No, that's not good.
I mean,
right?
I just remember I couldn't find any of those things. I mean, obviously I wasn't looking for Ebony or Jet, so I don't know. Maybe they did have those. I have
Right.
no
No,
idea.
totally. Okay.
I was looking
Yeah,
for
right.
magazines like Word Up or whatever, the ones
Okay.
that were doing the hip hop stuff because I was into
Yeah.
them too.
Dude, that
But,
shit was awesome. I gotta say, man, do you miss the magazine rack?
I would if there were still cool magazines being made.
Well, that is true. I
'Cause
guess
not
what I'm saying
not
is,
only did you have like the sort of glossy fun magazines, but then you had like Maximum Rock and Roll or Flip Side or stuff like that. Like those were also fun to look at as well. And I would, I'd buy all that. Back in the day, like that was I think I could probably I could count the amount of actual like novels, like fiction novels I've read probably on both hands. Probably less than 10 in my entire life. Everything else I've read has been music biographies, autobiographies about music, magazines, articles about,
sure.
because I've been obsessed with music since I was like, 13, 14 years old. And that's still
Okay.
how I am now. Like right now, I'm literally reading an album by album breakdown book. Oh, I shouldn't be talking about this because it's a video that's coming soon. It doesn't matter.
oh, stop. Let's go to a new topic.
It's an album by album breakdown of Judas Priest's discography, and
You've been getting into the Priest. You and Eddie were talking about Priest again on this last video. And by the way, I was very moved by that email that kid wrote you guys.
yeah, occasionally we get those, and it really just fuels us because we're just like, wow, this is like great because like so know what what it's like when people like get what you're trying to do.
Totally. You got what we did, so thank you. Right?
So many people like don't get it or assume that they do and they're wrong. But when there are people that like truly do, and not only that, they like thank us. And so I've had people say like, I was going through a rough period of my life and I binged all your stuff and it really helped like me get my mind off things. And I'm like, that's amazing because I've used other people's stuff for that. you know?
Right.
So that's amazing. I mean, it's really good. Not only do we have fun doing that show, but it's like, you know, we do have some dedicated listeners that listen to like any artist we talk about or whatever we talk about. And the fact that, I mean, even if that's only like 10 people, I don't care. That's 10 people that, you know, but.
Oh, I was going to ask you, but dude, why the English connection, dude?
What do you mean?
You got Brits. You got two Brits, right? Is Eddie's a England, right?
It wasn't on purpose. It was accidental. So Old Bollocks.
Yeah, another Brit, right?
I got connected with him because he's the lead vocalist of Acid Rain, and I'm a big Acid Rain fan. And so literally what happened was I did a video about Acid Rain years ago when I first started my channel. And then he reached out to me and said, "Thank you so much." And he even said that, like, you get it, you get our stuff. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. And so it started off where he sent me an early version of their upcoming album so I could review it. And then I started joining. He does like a Patreon, and I would like join these like Zoom calls with his Patreon subscribers. And one day he just like, because he would always like talk to me and let me talk in the little Zoom meetings and stuff, and I would just say some whatever. But one day he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, do you want to do an episode for my podcast?" Because he does a podcast where he like legit interviews all kinds of musicians, like that's his deal. And he's like, "You want to do like a thing with me where we talk about like some new releases and stuff?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, yeah." And not knowing that it was going to be like a long-term thing, because we've been doing it for like 2 years now. So that's how that one came together. And then with Eddie, it was also very early on in my stuff, and he was doing YouTube videos too. And we just sort of started commenting on each other's stuff because I loved the videos he was doing. And then he shot me an email and said, "Would you like to do a podcast? I have an idea and I have a title. The title is Cranked and Ranked, and we're gonna, do long form discussions of discographies." And I'm like, I'm in, dude. So both of those cases, I wasn't the one who came up with it. It was the other person. Yeah. Wow. So I've just been lucky there. So it's
right on.
And that's it's been great. I've just been sort of, to use an overused term, blessed with like the people that I've met throughout this thing, because obviously, somebody from the outside could look at me and be like, "Well, why have you not talked to anybody from Metallica, or why have you not talked to Paul McCartney?" And I'm just like,
sure. I asked myself that question.
Yeah, and I'm like,
why does old head not talk to Paul McCartney? Does he not like him?
I would love to talk to Paul McCartney.
Right.
I'm going to be like, "Paul, how did you write that one song?" And he'd be like, "Well, I just went bibbidi boo and it came out."
No one's going to interview him better than Chris. Oh my God, the dude from Saturday Night Live, who was in Chris Farley.
Oh yeah,
that was the best interview of all time for Paul McCartney. Anyway, good luck topping that one.
Yeah. So, but like people will probably see that, and I'm like, well, that's why last time when we talked about it's perfect me doing a show with you, because sure, I'd love to talk to Paul McCartney, but
sure. But you just
I feel like I have more of a connection to this music that it spoke to me and didn't speak to a lot of other people. And so I much rather would meet and talk to those people. And then eventually if I get Lars Ulrich on my show, then that's fucking great. I'd love to talk to him. Sure. But like the way that it's happening is like, it's like I get kind of rewarded for the passion that I show towards like the underdog, and so like, that's, like I'll build from there, but I would love, but here's the thing. If for some reason shit took off and I became like Joe Rogan big or whatever, and I could have anybody I wanted on my show.
Sure.
I would be like, okay, next week is Paul McCartney. Week after that, Mark Smirl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that is what my show would always be, because I'm not going to be like, oh, I got to get famous people on so people will listen. I'm like, no, I'm going to interview only the famous people I want to talk to, and then other people that I think are equally as important in my life, or more important, really.
Right,
like, you know,
right.
I would say that, you know, so like, okay, like if I was going to break it down, obviously Metallica, but if you want to go even smaller, like a smaller, an even smaller, like
Right.
wish
Obviously
list.
Metallica. Sure. Obviously Metallica.
But
Right.
when
Okay.
it comes to a smaller band that has that much of an influence on me, I want to talk to Jay Robbins from Jawbox. Like
Sure.
that is a guy that I have looked up to for 30 years of my life. Yeah, 30 years of my life now. And he's one of those dudes that I'm like, he's not a rock star, but he's well known in his circle of things. But even that is a thing where, like, well, I don't know how to get in touch with Jay Robbins. If anybody does, tell Jay I want to talk to him.
Is he even, you think he's managed by anybody?
Probably. Well, I mean, he may not be. I don't know, but I don't know how to. You know, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I should just fucking send. You know, let's do this right on the show. Let me look up.
Yeah,
Jay
I'm just
Robbins.
going to. Jay Robbins.
Robbins. Also, I can't type very well.
Right. Manager. Here we go.
Jay Robbins. Does he have a? Does he have? Oh, he has. He has a website.
Okay.
Does he have a thing that says contact? Let's scroll to the bottom. Let's do this right fucking now. Let's do this. Oh, God, it's like a fucking blog. Jay, come on, get with the times.
Right. We don't need any more blogs.
Ask me anything. Oh, he hasn't asked me anything.
Oh, well. Would you like to be on my show?
Hold on, we're gonna do this right. You can't type in it. It says type in it. You can't type anything.
You can't type in it?
It says log in or sign up for Tumblr to ask a question. Oh God, I'm not doing that.
No, yeah, you don't need any of that.
Maybe I'll do that later. I'll do that later. But now that I'm thinking about it, the way that I talked to like Phil from Sacred Reich is I literally just like shot him a message and said, "Hey, can you want to do an interview?" A big one for me was when I got to interview Alex Newport from Fudge Tunnel.
Oh, right.
That was a fucking
No,
great.
both of those bands are on that Underground Incorporated movie. Have you seen that thing yet?
No, I have not yet. You know what? You know what I am going to be getting pretty soon.
What?
Hold on, I gotta look up what the actual name of it. But you may not even know this exists. Maybe you do.
I don't know anything.
There's actually two things I'm going to show you. You can go ahead and talk. I'll get there.
I did not know that Jay Robbins was in Government Issue.
Yeah, that was his first band.
Wow.
Government Issue, Jawbox. Then he was in a band called Burning Airlines, which is also fucking great.
Channels, Office of Future Plans.
All of that shit is good.
Touring bassist for Scream. Great. That's pretty cool.
So this thing right here, do you see what it is?
CD Sampler Foundations Forum. Yes, 1993. Yes, I do see that.
You guys are on this.
Right. Is Kiss on it too, by the way?
I don't know.
They headlined that.
There's great shit on here. Damn the Machine, The Big F, Souls at Zero, Prong, Merciful Fate, Iron Maiden, Galactic Cow. God, I love Galactic Cowboys too. Flotsam and Jetsam, Haze and Shuffle.
Hey, there they are.
Love, Hate, Paradise Lost, Caius. Damn, Mother's Day.
Caius. Yeah.
Muzzachunka.
Yeah, Muzzachunka. So they got they got them all. They got all of us on that thing.
The Almighty, I Mother Earth, Sugartooth, Tad, White Trash. Damn. But no Kiss. There's no Kiss.
No Kiss. Okay, they did headline that thing.
But but that's on Discogs, and I'm gonna like order a copy of that just because I'm like, that'd be a fun comp to just throw on someday and just chill to and listen to all this '90s awesomeness. You know.
So now that we're speaking of Kiss and we've already been talking about books and stuff, have you read any of the books that the members have put out?
No, but Eddie told me I have to read Paul Stanley's, and I'm like, I love Paul Stanley, so I want to read whatever thing he writes. So, but like I said, it takes me a long time to read. So if I do start reading it, it's going to take me forever, but I will.
I don't know if it's still on there, but Paul Stanley reads his own book on YouTube.
On YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, I'm going to have to do that then.
I mean, that's where I heard the majority of it.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
So there is one more thing I was going to show you
Oh, sure.
that you don't know. You probably don't know that this is
I knew about that Foundations thing though.
I guarantee you probably don't know this because it appears to be a bootleg, but a very well done bootleg.
Okay.
God damn it! I'm trying to scroll to where I can see have a bigger image of it
Sure.
because right now I don't. Oh, is it gone? Did I get one of the last ones?
Nice. You purchased it?
Oh, I did. It's coming to me soon. All right, I'll have to show you like a little image of it. But it is the Airhead soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh,
On red vinyl,
that.
including
Nice.
Stick doing Grind. No, it's not Grind that's on that one, is it?
I don't remember. All I remember is that we made it on the soundtrack, and I went and I saw that movie,
I love that movie.
and the song is not in the movie. And I was like, God damn it.
Hold on.
And then, of course, our song's in PCU, and that movie is reviled and hated.
Fuel's on here.
Yeah, I thought it was Fuel. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Not
did,
in the movie, though. Not in the movie.
yeah. I did not like PCU.
Right.
I thought it was okay. I mean, it is what it is. Airheads on the other
Yeah.
hand, I thought it was okay when it came out, but as I've gotten older, I was
You
like,
love it.
he's fucking genius, and it's probably one of my favorite Steve Buscemi roles ever. So
Sure.
he's fucking great in that.
Oh, dude, he's always great. He'll put in a performance. Is that your dogs I hear going on, dude?
Yeah, my wife's probably taking him to go outside. So it's so funny. I told you that the last time we talked, which wasn't a show,
Right. It wasn't a show.
that my oldest dog passed away.
Yes.
And so
Sad.
I went from having 6 dogs to having 5 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's mom
Uh-huh.
has
Oh,
5 dogs.
God. Awesome. I thought you were going to say passed away, and I was going to get
Well,
really.
She's been sick and she's like having to take medication and stuff, and so she's having a hard time taking care of all of her dogs, and so we volunteered to take 2 of them. So we were about to have 7 dogs.
7 dogs.
And you know what? I'm fucking thrilled. So
That's awesome.
I'm so stoked because one of them that they named Gus is like super cute, and so
Where does that name come from?
I have no idea. And the other one's name is Milo, and I don't know where that came from, but I'm going to assume it's Milo from The Descendants because I love The Descendants.
Of course. Yeah. Of course that's where it's from. Yeah, because I'm sure that your wife's mom was a huge Descendants fan. But of course, in this day and age,
she did go see Iron Maiden in the 80s, my wife's mom. So, I mean,
well, it's still
it's a little different than Descendants, but
It's a concert. You are right. It is a concert.
it's rock music.
Well, sure, it was rock music. Sure.
I mean, I like both. Am I weird?
Not because of that. You're not weird because of that, my friend. That is not why. Yeah.
I want to jump on something real quick because I don't know if you're wanting to talk about this on the episode or anything, but I want to talk about your album, your vinyl. Did you listen to it? Can we talk about that on the show?
Of course we can.
So
Of course we can.
So you were able, you didn't tell me after listening to it what the verdict was.
Well, okay, so I didn't know because usually I just go, I get excited. I go, it's here. And then I listen to it. I go, awesome. And then I send it off and then, whatever. I make mistakes because I get too emotional about things. You know what I mean? Yep. And I'm going to say to everyone out there who maybe this doesn't count. I don't know. You and I grew up and you still depend 90% of the time on vinyl. And vinyl was what all of my music came on when I was a kid, right? So I got I made a very direct choice to go out and get a stereo as soon as I could. You know what I mean? And I got a turntable in my room because I was gonna play records in my room. It was gonna change my world, and it did. It did. Yep. So I get in these bands and I'm in the CD era. You know what I mean? And so, okay, I guess that's cool. I mean, it is cool. It was better than nothing and it was nice and there is some good sound on digital or whatever. But I mean, it's like, you put it in and it goes "Bwit," and it disappears into that hole, that slot, and then it comes out of and you're not, there's
Unless you get one of
no.
those fancy rich people CD players where you put in like this and you can see it spin.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah, there is that. Right. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so the deal is
Go to
I got
eBay. Where did
right. Okay. I got it back, man. And they sent me 5 copies. Right.
And
So it's
it's a double disc, right?
so it's this box with 10 records in it. Right. And I was like, oh, I didn't even open it for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, there it is. You know what I mean? And so I got the paper off the box. It came from the Czech Republic, dude. It was awesome. Yeah,
Nice.
the writing on it was all cool. And so I when you put it on and it makes that
Uh-huh.
noise when the needle hits that thing, and then your ideas come back out of the speakers from vinyl, dude. I don't know. I know I'm being ridiculous, but it
Wow.
feels awesome. It feels awesome.
It feels awesome. How did it sound though?
Okay. So I am purposely try to bury vocals. I want it to be in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be doing that on my new recordings as well.
Right. Right. And I'm sorry, I'm going to drop names, but I had the very good fortune of hanging out with John Reese, right? From Rocket from the Crypt. Are you a
Oh
Rocket from the
yes,
Crypt fan? Yeah.
yes.
I mean, and they're just like,
I'm not. I know who they are. I'm not like a fan, but
oh, okay. Circa Now, just get it and listen to it, and then we'll talk about Circa Now. I
is
mean,
Rocket
anything.
from the Crypt related to Hot Snakes?
I don't know. I know it's Drive Like Jehu. I think
Drive
John
Like
is also. I think
Drive
John
Like
is also in
Jehu.
that.
I
Yeah.
think they were also in Hot Snakes, which I liked as well. And Jehu. Jehu's fucking great.
Yeah, totally,
Okay.
totally. And
Okay.
so I apologize to everyone involved if John Reese had nothing to do with Drive Like Jehu. I totally apologize.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter. We
so
made
but
up
anyway,
for it by praising it. It's amazing.
okay.
Brian, go get
So
it. Go listen to it.
and I was like, hey man, he was a friend of a friend, and so it was a relatively casual experience. We were just at a bar, you know what I mean, and hanging out, and I was like that record had come out, and that record, I mean, all of their stuff just I don't know what it is about his aesthetic or whatever, but how he hits that stuff. I love his voice and everything, and there's a
What
horns
particular album did you say? Rocket from the Crypt.
circa now, and everything is great. Scream, Vampire Scream, and everything before that is great. They've got a bunch of 7 inches and stuff that are fantastic. And I'm not going to, because I don't really have a working knowledge of everything like you do, so I'm not even going to pretend. But basically, I said, hey, I really love your record, man. But it's like your vocals, sometimes I feel like I can barely hear them. They're like, and he gave me an answer and that I'm not going to be able to tell you verbatim, but he basically said that it was he was of the idea that if you bury the vocal in the music, that the human ear is looking for the voice and it
Yeah.
goes into the music to find it. And he felt that it engages the listener to have and so I thought, wow, it's a very beautiful philosophy. And I don't know if it's true. I don't know if he still believes it. I don't know.
In
Right.
my experience, he's not wrong. But when it comes to somebody like me that I get lyrics wrong anyway all the time, when they're quiet,
Sure.
I'm definitely
Yes.
not understanding what anybody's singing.
Exactly. And which is the beauty of the lyric sheet.
Yep. Which
Yeah.
some people don't include, but
Right. Yes. So anyway, so the long story short, and I'm very sorry about all this, but I felt like, and no one will hear this record, so it's not like you'll hear it, and you'll probably go,
we're gonna once when it comes out, we're gonna promote it via this show, and we're gonna people are gonna hear it.
well, thank you for doing that, but you might want to listen to it first.
I've heard didn't I hear a track from it that you sent
Yes,
me?
I sent, yeah, the opening track, which is I'm very proud of. But anyway, that being said, I was like, okay, so I doubted. I had much doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm like,
Yep.
oh. So that feeling came over me. So I had to back off of it for a while. I went and listened to it on a whole other stereo, and then I backed off of it for another day, and then I went and listened to it on another stereo, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then the next day I listened to it again on my stereo. And this time I put it on and I was just futzing around. I didn't do that whole like sit between the speakers and like let it, you know what I mean, come at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's fine. It's fine. That's all it was ever going to be. It was just going to be, it was like something fun for me to do. Right? I was enjoyed the process like a motherfucker, right? That's what counted. And there it is. And it's sitting on, it's never going to sound like it was on 2-inch tape at Abbey Road in the 70s with good mics in a fucking orchestra hall. None of that was going to happen because it was always just in a bedroom, right? Yeah. I mean, you know, and it's got fake drums, you know, because I didn't have anybody to slam it out for me, whatever. That's fine. Yeah. So whatever, man. It is what it is. And I'm very excited. So I approved it.
Nice.
I approved. And so this is my.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, have you had anything pressed recently?
I'm going to talk about the one thing I've had pressed when we're done here. It's because it's a bad experience.
Right. Okay. Well, everything is through a portal.
Okay.
And I am so sick of portals. Like, you know, portals and apps and stuff. No offense to your app that's coming up. That's very exciting. And I will have it and I will listen to your stuff on my phone. I promise. But it's like, you know, you want to talk to somebody, you know, or you want to get a guy who runs the machine or lady who is pressing the records for you or whatever's going on, you know, you want to and feel like you're in the thing.
They're busy. They're like, look, we got to get off the phone. We're pressing something right now.
Yeah. Well, hot off the presses, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm very excited. And so the 96 people, I had 100 records pressed last time. I still got 4 of them sitting over there. The 96 people who I begged to take it from me, they're gonna get something else in the mail pretty soon, buddy.
I was gifted it. Like, it was a wonderful thing when I got it.
Sure. Well, I sent it to you before you could say no.
I guess. But I did I really enjoyed it though. So it's like, I'm looking forward to whatever you're going to be doing.
Yeah. So, But anyway,
so like,
go for it.
Well, I'm glad because I'm looking forward to hearing it and getting a copy and forcing you to take money for it. But I
don't want to get in a new tax bracket.
I'm gonna talk about this. So this is.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. So there it is.
So and look, and like the way I did it, because it's my first 2 EPs. So you flip it over, and it's so this part of it is great, except for it smells like glue. I don't like that it smells like glue. But
is that bad?
Yeah. Do you ever put a vinyl up to your face and go, it smells like glue?
No, I put it up to my face and it smells like shrink wrap and vinyl.
Yeah, this smells like glue. That's bad.
Like, what does that mean, glue? What kind of glue?
I don't know. Maybe they used a lot of glue on the cover or the printing they used.
Dude, that's a badass idea, though. That flip over like that is fucking cool as shit.
So this was a company called In the Clouds. And In the Clouds does lathe cut records. Like, you can just do a one-off. Mm-hmm. And I'd always wanted to do it with these first 2 EPs because they kind of like go together to me. They're like an A and B kind of EP. And so I just went for the one that like I saw and I went, I'm just going to fucking pull the trigger and do it. It's not super expensive. I mean, it was a couple $100 or whatever.
Yes.
But it was like a Christmas present to myself. And so
Merry Christmas.
So it took forever. Like, it took way longer than they said it was going to take. And then then I get the record, which is it looks cool because I chose clear vinyl.
Wow. I love clear vinyl. I'm a fan.
The presentation is fine. Like, there's
looks great.
Side, and then that side is a hand.
Perfect.
So it looks good.
That looks awesome.
The problem is 2 things, I think, because first off, let's say that I paid an additional fee because they told me that they would make me a video showing the production of my vinyl, and I never got it. So they refunded me the money. I also paid for them to master it for vinyl, so I'm assuming they also did not do that, but I have no way of knowing. Because you put the needle down on it, and immediately you hear, it's like it is a hum, and then the music starts, and the music is quiet. It's like there was no mastering done to this fucking thing. And so unfortunately, you got to crank it up, and then underneath the music, you're like, dun, 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 you also hear like the whole fucking time.
Right.
And so at that point, because it was so hard to actually communicate with these people, I was surprised that I what?
Portal?
It was just
Did they have a portal?
It was emails. I don't know. It was just fucking emails.
Okay, all right, okay.
But so it looks nice,
badass.
But it sounds like shit, and I'm assuming that they didn't bother to master it for vinyl the way that I paid for
or even listen to it.
I guess not. Or maybe everything they do has that humming on it, but I didn't see every single lathe cut company that I see. They all have comments saying sounds like shit. I'm like, well, yeah, it's lathe cut. It's not going to sound as good as like,
right,
the traditionally pressed vinyl or whatever. But
right.
I was just really bummed because it was so hard to communicate with these people. I literally just threw up my hands and said, fuck it. It's a learning experience, I guess. And I'm gonna always have this fucked up record that I wish sounded good. So
you should put it in a frame. I guess you can't even frame it because it's like too cool on either side or whatever.
It's two-sided. And I want to be able to like look at.
And don't pay another $200 to get another one.
Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. But I mean, I'm glad I did it, and I did. It was an experience or whatever. But that's why when you said you were thinking of going lathe cut route, I was like, don't.
Yeah, you bummed me out because I was doing some research or whatever, and there's a dynamic cut, and then they had two different lathe heads or whatever, and so I found this company that had the one lathe that had the lathe cut head that was great, and this dude who masters my stuff, who I really enjoy, he's fucking character. He's a really good guy. And he was like, dude, don't fucking press vinyl, man. What are you doing? He's always trying to talk me out of it, which is great. I understand. And he's probably right, really, at the end of the time. But he was like, you should just try this company, man. Just have one made. Just do it. If you just want to have a record, just have him make one.
Which is what I did, yeah. Is that the new one?
No.
I can't hear it. Can't hear it. I think Zoom is cutting it out because it's not a voice.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not hearing? No? Okay. I won't waste your time. The needle goes rip.
Oh, I see it. I remember you sending the video to me. Oh my God.
Dude, I'm like, what the fuck?
That's even worse. Oh my God. Oh gee. Oh, yeah.
I was gonna be really, really mad at it. But it was so funny that I was like, dude, this is great, man. It just goes, and then the sound of the needle on the paper.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing that I remember thinking to myself when I played mine, I was like, man, when I was younger, I had a record that I cut out of the back of a cereal box that sounded like this record.
And that's cool. That was cool. Remember how fun that shit was?
Yeah.
Like if it was a flexi disc that you got in a magazine or something, that'd be totally rad. You'd be like, yep, that's my shit.
They still
you know what I mean?
I think, is it Decibel magazine? One of those magazines, they actually, every single issue comes with a flexi disc with like an exclusive a song or two on it.
Right. So, I would love to get one of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That presses those onto flexi. That's badass.
Actually, I want to get one pressed on a cereal box. I just want to
Sure. What cereal are you going to go for?
I don't Frosted Flakes. That's the best cereal in the world.
It really is really good. Is Frosted Flakes just cornflakes with frosting on them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But you have to remember, like, the way that they're baked, and so the sugar is baked into it. So the whole thing, it's just it's delicious. Anyway, and I don't eat that anymore because I could go through a box of Frosted Flakes in a day or two.
In a sitting.
They're too delicious.
Oh, they're too delicious. Yeah, too delicious. My mom rarely let that stuff into the house. Mm-hmm. But then every now and again, like a Lucky Charms would show up, or like or a Frosted Flakes, But there was no asking her in the grocery store. Always a no.
My parents, for the most part, I didn't have an awful childhood, but there was a whole lot of like, hey, can you go away? There was a whole lot of, go away.
Oh, that's right. You were the youngest one of like
I was the
100
youngest one. Yeah.
of like 100 kids.
Yeah. Of three boys.
Oh, okay. 300
Um,
kids.
yeah. But there was a whole lot of like, sometimes I know that they got me stuff just to shut me up or get me to go away. Um, but honestly, like I'm not mad at them because I feel like I was able to, teach myself how to make music because I would just be in my room and I had nothing else to do. And like,
Right.
and I got so immersed in learning about music and listening to music because I was too anxious to like go outside and play most of the time. And then the rest of the time, it was me just being shut up in my room. But I feel like that ended up informing me being a better version of a music fan and a person that understands music because I wasn't distracted by going to play soccer or anything active whatsoever. But it helped me out. Anyway, my mom, I'd go shopping with my mom and like when we're talking about cereals, my favorite thing was always when they would make a cereal based on a hit movie. So Ghostbusters cereal or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was always like, and it was always just Rice Krispies with some marshmallows that looked like ghosts. It was never anything like good. But it doesn't matter because I'd be like, oh, this is that fucking movie that I love.
Right.
Give me this cereal. And
the Terminator, when they made the one with the Terminator.
Did they make a Terminator cereal?
No, they didn't. That would be, no. I thought that would be Alien, like when they did that one with Alien. Like the face suckers, marshmallows were in the right.
The commercial for the Terminator one is come with me if you want to eat.
Goes better with milk. Yeah. So
anyway, I don't know where I was going with that.
If they did
the record thing. I don't know if you remember this because like you may be because you were obviously older than me when this happened. But
I'm obviously older than you. Yeah.
Did we determine you have 10 years on me? Is that what it is?
Yes, we're exact. We're almost exact. Yes, and I'm 56. Right. I mean, I am 50. No, I'm 56. Yeah, that's how old I am. I'd earned this.
But you don't come across as a 56-year-old dude, so it doesn't matter.
Immaturity is so cool.
Yeah, it is. That's what that's what my whole life is based on. Like I'm only mature in the important ways. In everything else in my life, I'm immature.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, you know what? If you can give me a list of important things, I would love to know what those are.
Sure, I can do it right now. Here.
You can give it to me now. Okay, top 5. Where are we going? What's important? Okay.
Taking care of your children, however they need to be taken care of. You got
parenting. Sure.
You can't fuck up on any of that shit at all.
No, you can, but you're not supposed to.
You shouldn't. Let's just say
no. That. Yeah, no. You should try not to.
You shouldn't.
Right.
In my case, I take care of as much of this shit in my house as I can. I've conditioned my wife where she tries to get up and do something. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You sit down. I'm going to go clean the dishes. Like that's what I do.
Is that like tough love or what is that?
Well, I feel lucky to be in the life that I'm in.
Oh, so same.
I'm constantly like, what can I do for you? Because I want, it's my way of thanking you because just saying thank you over and over again doesn't do shit. So I'm like, you don't have to get up to get anything. You don't have to clean anything. Don't worry about it. Same thing with my kid. My kid's like actually a really good kid. Like no problems ever. But I'm still just like, I'll clean that up for you. You want this record that costs $30? I'll send you the money. You go get it right now. Because like I just want everyone around me to know that I appreciate them.
Okay.
Everything else in my life, I'm fucking 16 years old still. Like so it's literally just taking care of my family and making them feel like they are taken care of and they are important. Everything else is just I'm still like I still like even like my wife is so nice because on the weekends I've told you like I spend like right back here if you look there's a chair like I literally
a nice one.
I sit in this chair I drink a drink, and my record player is over here, and I listen to records all night long. And then my wife is a couple of doors down. We both have our doors open, and she does like cross stitching and other kind of stuff that she likes to do.
Okay.
And like we've learned that like this is really important to give each other this space of like, look, we're not going out and partying without each other. We're just sort of giving each other like, here's what we like to do, and we're both looking at each other and being like, cool, go have fun doing that. And then we come back together for other things. And so, anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. The point is,
well, I like this. Keep going.
The point is that everything, like, I'm so lucky where I am that that's where my responsibility lies. It's taking care of those people and my dogs. Take care of my dogs.
I was going to ask you where they fell in there.
They're right below. They're very close to my wife and my kid, but they're
do your wife and kid know that?
Well, yeah, of course they do.
Okay. Look, honey, I love you, but I almost love the dogs as much as you.
Well, but here's the thing.
No, I'm kidding.
When my dogs come to me and they're like, "Can we get this, Dad?" I'm like, "We don't have money." So
right.
So they don't get
that
records and
no.
Nah.
Not even a chew toy. Do they have those?
Occasionally, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But vinyl album chew toys, they should have those.
Oh, I would love that. Would be so great.
I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna look on Amazon right now.
Okay. Anyway,
go ahead.
I don't know where I was.
I thought it was going to be 5. I thought it was going to be your top 5. You just had 1.
No, I didn't say it was going to be 5.
No, I said that. I said I want your top 5 of the most important things, so that I would have a list at least.
Really, you could put it all together in one, and that'd be family. Like, make sure that they are taken care of, and they know that you're there for them, and don't fuck up. Like. Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, it's like if I take my kids somewhere and I'm supposed to pick them up at 9, I'm there at 9.
Oh, well, that stuff for sure.
And then when I come home, I'm gonna get a little drunk and listen to some music.
Right.
Like that's my life. So,
just want to let you know, if you need a ride after 9 o'clock, not gonna happen. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Right. You're gonna have to get somebody else to. You're gonna Uber back.
That's why I put the Uber app on your phone. So congratulations and have a good time.
That's gonna happen soon. I mean, we're getting almost 14, so it's like eventually we got to do like driver's testing and all that stuff, like driver's ed and stuff, and I don't know. I feel like they're not going to want to do that though.
There doesn't seem to be an urgency to drive like there used to be. But again, I live in Chicago, and then there's just buses and trains and Ubers and those electric scooters are just everywhere.
Public transportation in Texas is fucking awful. Like, you can't.
Really?
No, because we don't have any trains. And especially where I grew up in Austin. In Austin, for the majority of my life, there were no highways that went east or west. It was all there were 2 north and south highways, and that was like all you could do. If you wanted to go anywhere else, you had to go through all these different streets to get somewhere. That was it.
No, you can't go there. Hey, I need to go.
You're gonna have
to. You can go up or down. These are the things.
This really long street with tons of lights. It's gonna take you what normally would take you 20 minutes. It'll take you the better part of an evening to get there.
Wow. So they just run out of money, or like what happened?
Austin is a city that did not expect to ever be big, and they did not plan for being big because they were a little town. Austin was a little town up until early to mid 90s, when there was like a tech boom, like Dell computers like opened up right outside of Austin. And once that started happening, so many people started moving into the area, and everyone that ran the city was just like, what the fuck do we do? It was like, there's no room. We build more stuff, and then there's no room for anything. So
right. It's been years since I've been there.
Yeah,
Hey, what was that computer company that had cow spots on their boxes?
I don't know.
Compact?
Oh, could have been. I don't know.
Remember? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
I feel that computer. You're not a computer history.
I'm not a techie person, so I don't.
No, you're still doing vinyl.
Yeah, that's how old school I am.
Right, your hard drive is probably vinyl.
But not only that, I have the most basic vinyl setup that, like, like there's the gearhead vinyl collectors. They would be so mad at my setup. They'd be so fucking mad at me. You know why? Here's the thing. I have a Fluence record player, which is a fucking great company. It's a great record player. They're a Canadian company. I have a Fluence record player and Fluence bookshelf speakers. Sounds fucking amazing.
Okay.
So I run it through an amplifier that is this big, and it has one knob on it, and that is the volume knob.
Perfect.
So literally, all these people that are like, well, when you listen to this one record, you got to set your bass to 3 and you're trouble. I'm like, no, I'm listening to the record the way that it sounds coming out of my fucking speakers, because I don't want to listen to like my record player's version of an album. I want to listen to the album the way that it sounds. And ever since I made that decision, which I've had this set up now for 8 years now, I think.
Okay.
And I've never grown tired of it. I love it. I love hearing the differences in records. I'll get an old record from the 70s and I'm just like, oh, this sounds so fucking great. And then you get like one from like the late 80s and you're just like, man, this doesn't sound that great, but there's something about it that's so charming and so great, and so on and so on. Like I just love the different sounds, which is why like when people like remix and remaster albums, I'm like, I don't want to buy that, because I like how it sounds.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't like that either. Yeah, just quit fucking with it, man.
If it's a classic album,
the
just
don't fuck with it.
Number one thing you should do is never touch it again. Just
right. I was even like, and I love Iggy Pop, but I was like, why do you keep doing that to Raw Power? Just let it be what it was. That was totally fine, and I don't know why you got to keep doing. I mean, I'll admit the new ones are great and everything, and I love him, and that's all fine. But I mean, I don't need it to be different.
No. Like there's something about Raw Power. If it doesn't sound like shit, is it the same album?
Is it that I know?
It's like,
and they do that to the Clash all the time. They're trying to remix it, remaster everything. Is that just well, it doesn't matter.
Well, there are people.
This is why I don't like the stream.
There are people that legitimately want that. They do. I mean, and that's their prerogative, and so they can buy those things all they want. But the way I like it, there are some record companies that do this where they will put out just a repressed reissue of something, and then they will do a remastered version separately. And so I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm going to buy it, and I want it to sound the way that it sounds.
Okay.
So that's what I love it when people are able to, especially when it's a repress, to like recreate like kind of the original vibe of it and the original artwork and all that.
You love that. You love that, man. You're way into it. Yeah.
Company. There's a really great company called Music on Vinyl.
Okay.
And
what do they do?
And every release that they've done though, it all the way down to the label on the record, it looks like the original pressing. And if an original pressing doesn't exist, they will try to recreate the CD disc art on the labels for the record. And the thing that bums me out about this is that they have done pressings of other bands similar to yours and on similar labels. Like they've done Paw and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, when are they going to get to Heavy Bag? When are we going to get Heavy Bag? Because they get licenses for major label stuff that's like kind of lesser known, and they're able to make vinyl versions of it. And I'm just like, they need to hurry up and fucking do that. I want that album on vinyl. To be fair,
I would love.
To be fair, I want Disgruntled Ex-Employee on vinyl. That's the one.
Yeah. Well, so I feel we should just try to get a hold of EJ and try to get his pre-Heavy Bag mixes and release those on vinyl.
I didn't even think about that. I was in contact with that guy.
Yeah. I love him. Did you talk to him, or did you just email him back?
I emailed him, and he's the one that sent me like the remixed version of
Resistance. Yeah. Great sounding, right? Yeah.
They both sound good, but the remix definitely sounds great.
Yeah, it's awesome. EJ's great.
But that would be fucking cool. But like, I have to admit, because I've got like all of both Stick albums are in rotation on Old Head Radio. And I listen to my own radio station because why would I not? It's made by me, and it's all of my favorite music.
Sure, so, that's awesome.
But I now, since that's happening, and I'm now sort of randomly hearing Stick songs. Whenever it's one off of Disgruntled Ex-Employee, I'm always just like, oh fuck, clear the fucking room for this shit. Because I'm just like, because Heavy Bag's great. Obviously,
It's
I
great.
like
It's
it.
great. No,
You know that I like it. But there's something about that, because Disgruntled Ex-Employee just feels so much like when I was playing in bands in like the late 90s and early 2000s. I would have so loved to have been able to make an album like that. Like that's everything, because it's got that one thing where it's still got a little bit of the 90s groove thing, but it's got an indie, almost in the post-hardcore world of like your Fugazis and what have you, all of those bands. Jawbox, another big one.
Jawbox, You
So
should go record with EJ, dude.
No, I don't have money for that.
Well, I don't know. That would be pretty cool. He's got to still be in Kansas someplace, right? Isn't he? I don't know. He's still okay. I need to catch up with that dude. I need to catch up with that dude.
I mean, it was like he's not in Kansas anymore.
Oh yeah,
Get it?
yeah. Badoom bing, badang dong. Yeah. I talked to him back and forth like a while ago, because I don't really know what time is anymore. It could have been 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. I don't know. But it was nice to engage with him again. You know what I mean? Because he was always hilarious, and the studio time with him was fantastic, because he was a very good person. If you're going to be in a room with someone playing something over and over again, he made it real easy to do, and it was a lot of fun. So
it sounds great. So I mean,
it really does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it really does. Yeah, he had something going. Yeah, that was too bad that got changed, but that's okay. Madison, Wisconsin was fun, and we had a good time.
I really need to watch that fucking. What? Okay, so what the document? You sent me that documentary. Isn't there supposed to be a documentary coming out about your music scene in general?
Yeah, well, I got together with Kim Zarnaby today, which was fucking fantastic. Like, we live here in Chicago, and we don't see one another but a couple times a year, and it's like, I don't know why that is. I mean, we should be doing it more often, which she said today too. I was like, okay, cool. We spent like 4 hours. We sat in this coffee shop today and just rattled off everything, about parenthood and whatever, music and politics and the whole thing. And so, yeah, she asked me about that book. It's a book, and it's called No Choice. Yeah, it's a book called No Choice But Action, which I believe is an Embarrassment song, and Embarrassment is a band from Kansas, and I'm back from that era, and I believe they're kind of the flagship band that holds the book together or whatever. But it's just a. Well, I don't know. I've never read the book. I don't even know if it's out. The dude that did the interviews was really cool, and he lives in Wichita.
What is it called again?
No Choice But Action. You have no choice but to act. No choice but action. And we signed our releases and all that kind of stuff. And then they put together a compilation album of all those bands from Kansas at that time. But I don't know if it's released or not. And if you find out it is and I didn't get my copy, I'm going to be so sad.
See, it leads to... The first thing it shows on the page is a fucking YouTube video, which is why I thought it was like a documentary.
No, that's just a teaser trailer for what's coming out.
So I don't think that it's come out yet.
Yeah. So
because they have a website, but there's no like buy it now option.
Right. And if it didn't come up as a book to buy on Amazon or whatever, then it's not out yet. Anyway, I'm very excited to have that thing come out. A lot of great bands.
Yeah.
To be a part of, like a historical piece to be a part of.
I'm interested in that because that's the kind of thing that I love reading about or hearing about is music scenes that had a lot going on. Like, because I don't know, that whole thing, like I've read everything from like, I read one about like the Swedish death metal scene from the 90s and stuff like that. And like it's always so fascinating to me. One of my favorite like music documentaries is I think it's called Salad Days, and it's about the DC punk music. And like that's a documentary that literally like it ends and you just want to go start a band right now.
Immediately.
And I love that kind of shit because I'm just like, because I didn't have that in Austin. Austin, the music scene, it was called the live music capital of the world. If it's still called that, they should be ashamed of themselves. but back then it was called that, but only if you played like shitty blues rock. That's the only.
Yeah, Austin City Limits and stuff that was on PBS. We could always see that where we were, and it seems like that's what they had.
We had
not shitty. They were good. They were good. I don't want to say shitty blues, but yeah.
Yeah, for what they did, they were great. Yeah. But like
Stevie Ray Vaughan was on that thing. That was quite a good show. Yeah.
And there were bands from Austin that fucking ruled. Like Spoon was from Austin, and and you will know us by the Trail of Dead from Austin.
Oh, that band is so good.
So there are standouts, or if you go like even further back to like the Big Boys and stuff like that.
The Big Boys. I was gonna say they were from Austin. Yeah. So that's
and so there is good stuff, but from speaking from a person that played in the music scene, and I would go and play shows down in the music area where all the shows would happen. Nobody really, well, if it was a more popular band, people would come out. But most nights you would be playing a show to barely anybody, but you would walk right down the street and somebody playing a Hendrix cover has 50 people watching them. And I just got to the point I'm just like, this is fucking lame, because it's like, you're not even doing anything original or interesting or, I mean, you're just going through the motions, and yeah, you're a great guitar player, but what are you really contributing, you know? So it got really annoying because I'm like, this isn't really a music scene. This is, well, I guess it is. It's just not my music scene. So
sure. Not the music scene you wanted to be in. Were the Butthole Surfers an Austin band as well?
They're Texas, but they're, I don't know what, I don't remember what city they're from.
The Dicks. Do you remember the Dicks?
I believe they are from Austin, but more importantly, the Jesus Lizard is from Austin.
It's awesome. Yeah. And you like the new record?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I got it. I bought it on vinyl, and I don't think it stands up to any of their older stuff, but it is nice to hear like the whatever the guitar player's name is, the riffs that he does along with those vocals. You hear those two things together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like that sound. Even if I'm not like in love with the album,
sure.
I still like hearing them play together. So
yeah.
Which says a lot, because there's a lot of older bands that put out newer stuff and I just go, yeah, okay.
Sure.
But there are those bands.
Yeah.
That are very unique.
It's a fear of mine. I think Daryl, when we did that interview with you, and Daryl was like, "Yeah, I'm not really interested in revisiting the past, but I would, if you guys would want to do a collaboration, moving forward." I was talking to Kim a lot when I was talking to her today. We were talking about, I'm always fantasizing about, doing a Kill Whitey reunion and stuff, but it's like, even though like the name was supposed to be, it was supposed to be an anti-racist thing, Kill Whitey, it was all like, now even to say that kind of stuff, and you get on you get strikes and stuff, and if you try to post it or whatever, they just flag the name and everything, and then it's like the context of the time that appeared in is lost, and so there's just these two words or whatever. And
literally both of those words would get blocked.
Yes, yeah. Would so
which is funny. Which is funny. Like, come on, white people. Who is a fuck?
Right.
Reverse racism is not a thing. Get over yourself.
It's not a thing. Yeah, just get over yourself. Right. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I was like, well, maybe we'll do a reunion and we'll just be like Kind Wind. Just so it's got KW on it, and it'll be a little secret. You know what I mean? And then anybody who knows will come and do.
But not only that, like, you guys also had like Confederate flag imagery and shit like that. Like,
well, yeah, it was all supposed to be. It was all tearing that stuff down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Which you could still do that today. You just wouldn't get distribution or any internet traction at all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Did you talk to Matt Roberts at all? Have you talked to him? That guy who runs the Facebook page and all that?
No, not really.
We have each other's numbers, and he texts occasionally, and he got like, I don't know if I don't have Facebook, so I can't really get on stuff and do stuff, but every now and then if Jessica's on, I'll be like, hey, can you look up? And then, so I'll get to that band page or whatever, and I see he's got the original drum head from Tim's kit, right? And it's got that, it says "Kill Whitey" real big with the stars in that X, like the Confederate flag or whatever. And I guess it was left in the house that we used to practice in, and a lady who had moved in found it in the basement and just hung it on her wall. But she said over time, she's like, I just got tired of explaining it. Like I got tired of having to go, yeah. It's not the Confederate flag. It's the, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I guess right.
Well,
anyway,
I've noticed that there's a term they use today. I guess maybe it's not necessarily related, but it's referred to as media literacy, and about how like a lot of people don't have a hard time understanding certain things, especially when it has to do with complicated context or complicated intent, that isn't just cut and dry,
for sure.
And so when you're doing things that's the opposite of that, then it's like you have to explain it, which I guess back in the day you did too, to some extent, but not as much.
Sure. You were more worried that you were going to get it from like a white person saying, "Hey, what the fuck," or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like a redneck or a good old boy or whatever, that kind of thing. I don't know what to call it really, but you were more worried about getting backlash from there. And I think some promoters were really worried, and we were KW all the time when we would show up to a theater or whatever. There'd be a marquee or a flyer or whatever. It would say KW on it, and there were some people who came out who wanted to know what the fuck, what the fuck, I was like, well, here's the deal, dude. You don't get to just be thinking like that anymore, and it's uncool, and we've already proved that all that shit's wrong, so just move on, please. Just move the fuck on.
You know what? If you guys ever did anything else, you could literally just slightly change the spelling and do like what Green Jello did, where Green Jello changed their name to where it says Green Jelly, but if you ask them, they would say no, it's still pronounced Green Jello.
Green Jello.
We just spell it with a Y now. So you could be like, it could say like kind wins, but you're like, it's pronounced Kill Whitey.
Kill Whitey. It's Kill Whitey. Yeah. Kind wins.
Now that I even said that word out loud, I'm going to get demonetized.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter.
Like the whole channel or just this video?
It probably won't happen. I haven't said it enough times.
Yeah. No, you haven't said it. I just would like to say
I'll start singing that song. You remember that old Saturday Night Live sketch?
Oh, with Eddie Murphy.
With Garrett Morris, and he's doing that song, and he goes, "Gonna get and kill all the white as I see."
I thought you were doing that Eddie Murphy thing. Kill my landlord. Remember that? Kill my landlord. Yeah. That was awesome. Dude, we are at 8:57, man, which means we've got 2 hours. Oh, except for we had all those lovely technical difficulties.
Well, maybe we'll start veering ourselves towards a conclusion. We don't have to.
Well, I just feel I feel bad for of course okay, I know, dude, and you've got the confidence of doing this for a long time, and you know what I mean? But I'm like, this is my second one, and I'm still like a noob.
Better. It's only going to get better.
Okay, dude, I hope so, man. But like when I read that comment from that guy, like, okay, guys, it's kind of meandering a little bit, 2 hours. So what's the point, dudes? And I was like, what is the point? Right? Oh, exactly.
The point is for whoever finds it and enjoys it, it's for them.
Okay. And I do love the little card you made.
Not only that, my whole point is whenever we do these, my videos, like historically, always come out. Monday is an old head video. Wednesday is a cranked and ranked. Ours are going to exclusively be Fridays, so they're actually going to be a special bonus. So it's like, hey, if you don't want to watch it, don't. But if you need some company on your weekend from just a couple dudes that are hanging out, then here you go. You can enjoy this. I think this has been even better than the first one. I feel like we've had a good energy going here, and I've enjoyed it.
Oh, dude, I'm way into it, dude. Yeah. You're in purple, I'm in yellow. We got a good color scheme going on.
This is hair, purple hair. So.
That's I was gonna say that's Paul Stanley's color on the solo records was purple, right?
Yeah. Paul
Now
Stanley.
you like it even more.
That's my second favorite solo album is after Ace Frehley, obviously.
Oh,
but dude, but there's a song on Paul Stanley. If you ever get to listen to it on Paul Stanley's solo album, there's a song called "Wouldn't You Like to Know Me." It should have been a hit song. It is so good. It's one of those songs, like if you were getting ready to go out for an evening and you turn that song up while you're getting ready, you'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like it's one of those songs that has this energy and it almost sounds a little bit punky when it starts. And by punky, I mean like 77 punky. I don't mean like,
sure.
like later on. But anyway, yeah. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know why I've just become over the years such a fan of Paul. Like he makes me laugh.
He's complicated.
He makes me laugh, sometimes intentionally and sometimes unintentionally.
Right.
Yeah. And around circa like 1986, 87, he was such a fucking amazing singer. He was so good. So,
dude, okay, so I have a friend who is without a doubt just like into Kiss. Like he's a Kiss fan. He's has a wall that looks like yours back there, and it's full of jazz. And you said that record collection is full of a lot of different stuff. So anyway, he's
no
like
jazz. Fuck that.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, dude. Sorry about that.
At the end of the day, I'm still a basic dude. This is all rock, metal, and hip hop. Is all it's in there.
Okay,
and things like TLC and stuff like that is back there too.
But no jazz.
No, I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy jazz.
Okay, well, we're gonna find you some stuff, and maybe get an appreciation for it. But that's okay. That's what that kid said in that email, that inspirational email that he sent you. He's like, hey man, I didn't even know I was gonna get into stuff that were in these genres, and then all of a sudden.
I'm 46. I already went through that period in my 20s where I bought Bitches Brew and Kind of Blue. Yeah. I've already heard that stuff. And guess what?
You didn't dig it?
No, but I didn't not like it. I went like, oh, I can totally understand why this is great, but I can also 100% understand why it's not for me. And then I moved on. But I did hear it. I went through like
Coltrane, and
I fucking sucked in my 20s because I was a douchebag because I was one of those guys like, oh, you're only listening to this kind of music.
Right.
I'm listening to Stevie Wonder and John Coltrane and all this other stuff. I was such a fucking sponge in my 20s because I wanted to know everything. So I listened to everything, and I'm glad I did it because it was one of those things where literally I threw everything at myself, and then I walked away with the stuff that stuck to me. Which was things like,
right, yeah.
But things like, Intervisions by Stevie Wonder. That's still an album that I love so much today. So there's random stuff from that time period that I still love, but none of the jazz did anything for me. I listened to a lot of like
Star People, dude.
Well, what's Star People? What's that? Is that
Miles Davis? Star People?
I don't know if I heard that one. I don't remember track names. I could
have made that up.
The two for sure that I know that I owned were Bitches Brew and Kind of Blue.
Yeah.
Which one is not Otis Redding? I have Otis Redding back here too because I love
Otis Redding's fantastic. Yeah, Miles Davis. We're talking Miles Davis.
No, but Kind of Blue is not Miles Davis.
But Bitches Brew.
Well, who the fuck did Kind of Blue? It starts with O, doesn't it? John Coltrane. John Coltrane.
Yeah, John Coltrane.
Okay.
Boy, we better be right. We are.
But you want to know? Do you want to know the number one reason why I bought Bitches Brew?
Because of the title, the
cover.
cover.
No, it's because I was for a very long time a very big Radiohead fan, and there's a song on the album Kid A, which I love, that was directly influenced by a song from Bitches Brew, and I was like, well, if it's good enough for Radiohead. It's good enough for me. Yeah. And so, like I said, I heard it and I did like things about it. But when you hear something and you go, yeah, it's pretty good. And then later on, when you're thinking about it, you go, oh, what I want to listen to? It's never Bitches Brew. It's never that. That's never what I want to listen to. Even though I can look at it and go, this is good. Because it's like,
what the problem is? Here's the problem.
I suck.
No, it's never fall. It's never fall where you are.
Yeah, it's only summer. It's hot
Right.
summer.
You just,
cool
yeah.
summer.
It's cool. Yeah, that's what you got. You don't get a melancholy or a weather change or a season thing or no.
Nope, we don't get that.
Yeah, I think that may be what the deal is, bro.
But
Because
whenever it does get cold here, it's just time for Mariah Carey Christmas. It's like that's it. I don't get a lot for Christmas. That motherfucker is rich as hell off of one song. Like here's the thing. If she had never had an entire hit in her entire career,
right,
she would fucking retire for All I Want for Christmas Is You. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. I like that song.
No, nobody's mad at it. Nobody's
fun.
mad at it. No. Why would you be mad at it? You'd have to be a Scrooge to be mad at that, and that's not what you are.
Do you not? You should. If you get a chance when we get closer to Christmas and you're feeling in the spirit.
Sure. Yeah.
We've done Christmas cranked and ranked episodes.
Nice.
And one of my favorites is when we ranked our favorite Christmas songs.
Okay.
And but they're like it's such a good mix of stuff. And it's because like my favorites are like, okay, you know that I'm weird. I'm very weird. So I love Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. I love that song.
Wow. Sure.
That gets me into the fucking spirit.
Okay.
Like you might as well. Like it's like I'm just this is fucking great. It's such a great song, and I like
get out the eggnog, man. Let's go.
Exactly. We'll get anyway. We're getting there. We're doing a Christmas episode this year too. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it's supposed to be, but we're doing one.
Okay.
Neither one of us is Christian.
I was gonna say that your Christmas special this year should just be like Christian rock and stuff. You should do Petra, weren't they one? And then what was that other metal band that dressed in yellow? Striper. Yeah, Yellow and Black Attack, right? Yeah, there was that, and then
for a little while, King's X was,
that is true.
But then they all went through a crisis of faith that never ended, and then you started hearing it in the lyrics, and you're like, oh, these dudes are not going through it anymore. That's one of my favorite things about King's X because their music is amazing. Everything
is amazing.
But if you listen lyrically after like about album 3 or 4, you start to hear the lyrics and you go, oh, there's a lot of questioning going on now.
Totally. Yeah. Great group. Mm-hmm. Great group live. Are they still around? They're still doing stuff?
Yes, they they still play shows. They put out an album in 2021.
Okay.
Or 2022.
That's recent. That's recent, dude.
It's actually really good. It made my top 10 of the year. So, that says something about it. They no longer live here, unfortunately. They like a lot of their classic albums were recorded in Houston, and they lived in Houston. They lived in Houston. They're not from Houston, but they moved here. And so their first maybe 6 albums or so were recorded in Houston. That's one of the things I'm the most proudest. I'm proud of a few things from Houston. King's X, the Ghetto Boys.
Nice.
Megan the Stallion is from here.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, DRI. DRI started here.
DRI. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then again, that's not a bad thing that's not a bad group of artists if you're going to have to put one together.
Fucking Ghetto Boys started here. That's one of those things.
Yeah.
I remember being at a show years ago, but this was in Austin, and I'm just hanging out. It's a metal show. Like literally, it was like a Both, like the black metal artist.
A Both. Yeah.
I'm at this fucking show, and I look over, and there's fucking Bushwick Bill at the show. Sure. And he's just like having a grand old time. I was like, rest in peace, Bushwick, because he passed away.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this is so awesome that like I'm at this show that is just like the most not Bushwick Bill show I could go to. And there he is. And, he got shot in the eye, or his wife shot him in the eye.
Yeah, that's so weird, right? To get shot in the eye.
But that I just remember that song when I was younger, and that video came out for that song, and he raps about trying to get his wife to kill him, and she accidentally just shoots him like
in the eye.
In the eye. And then there's that classic album cover where they're in the fucking the hospital room. Oh man, that's one that like I'm never going to be able to afford. But I would love to have a vinyl of that with that album cover. There's a video coming out on Monday, and I don't mind giving it away because this will come out after that.
Oh, okay, kick ass.
Where I read a Rolling Stone list of the 50 most disappointing albums of all time, and some of them I agree with, some of them I don't, some of them I don't even know. But the one, and I don't know this album, but I want to know it because I love the title of it so much. It's the Peter Frampton album that's called "I'm in You." It's literally called "I'm in You."
I'm in you.
It sounds gross when you say it, doesn't it?
Oh no, yeah. There's no way you can't even go like I'm in you. You can't do that, or you can't say I'm in you.
I'm in you. But but that still sounds kind of gross. But the way I read it is always like, "Hey, I'm Peter Frampton. I'm in you."
Right. About the only way you could be like, it'd be like, "Hey,
and
Peter."
The cover is him all just like posing. And I'm just like, Peter Frampton is in you. No, he's not a kimono, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I think there is some bare chest going on somewhere.
Sure, why not?
Anyway, but I just love shit like that because I'm just like, Peter Frampton followed up being this massive success. It was a massive success. And what does he put out? He puts out an album called "I'm in You."
I'm in you. Wow. Right. And did that follow Comes Alive?
I think that's probably why it was on the disappointment list.
Right. What are you going to do about that? I can't. Okay. Well, I can't wait. I'm going to leave some comments.
Yeah. Monday. It's going to be fun. It's a fun video.
You know, man, I'm so glad that I have your phone number so that when I can watch your videos and then text your phone.
And I'll send you a picture with Gene Simmons' face on something you didn't expect.
Something. Yeah, man. Just splice Gene Simmons' face on everybody.
Which, like, I love that so much, but I always go, like, why can't he do it with Paul? But I went, you know what? It won't be as funny if it's Paul.
It won't be as funny. Yeah. No. Okay, so Paul is a very complicated character, dude, and I was very scared of him when I was a kid because I didn't quite know what was going on.
Like sexually?
I mean, like his whole thing, everything, and the big open chest and the really low scooped, the Destroyer cover, you know, and then it was like I just didn't really, you know, like yeah. Okay, so but when we're talking about solo records, though, so that's my story about Paul Stanley. I've always been very confused about Paul Stanley because I don't really know what's happening there.
Yeah,
you know, but he seems fine.
Can I ask you an important question?
Sure.
Does it matter what's going on with him?
Well, it might matter in that I don't know, dude. It was like look, second grade, bought Destroyer. First album purchase with my own money, first rock record. I will never denounce that record.
Funny enough, that's around the same age that I got Crazy Nights.
Okay, right. Yeah. So, is it really second grade?
It was third grade.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what? It could have been third grade because I probably wasn't.
So it would have been 1987. Yeah. Oh man, 87 was so good for such good. I talk about LL Cool J in that video too, because they had the audacity to say that Bigger and Deffer was a disappointment, and I'm like, what fuck are you talking about? And then of course I proceed to rap the entire beginning of "I Need Love," but you know that's for the video.
That's for the video. Can't wait to see it. But yeah, man, what did you think of Peter Criss's solo record?
I like it. That's my third favorite.
What's your last favorite?
Gene Simmons.
Gene?
Yeah.
Wow, you like that one the least.
Because Peter Criss's solo album, while it's not good, it's almost like he's stuck it's stuck to music that he seems like he's legitimately into this music that he's singing.
Oh, so he does. Very sincere. He's very sincere.
It feels like a very honest Peter Criss album. And so I enjoy it because of that. Yeah. Gene Simmons' album, though, it's a little creepy at times. And
well, I couldn't tell if Paul's was creepy at times, is the deal.
no, go listen to it again. It's not creepy at all.
Okay, man.
Are you talking about Tonight You Belong to Me? Is that was like, you're confused about that? He means you. You belong.
I know. That's what I'm. That's what I mean. Yeah. Well, so another. Okay. So the thing that when I, as an adult now, that I go back and listen to Kiss, and I'm sorry to say that I do that as an adult, I still listen to Kiss or whatever. So, but every one of their songs is like,
you take care of your family, and
okay,
then
right, and then I go listen to Kiss. But it's like their entire thing is like, "Do you love me?"
Oh, I love that song.
Oh, I know, but I mean,
my limousine.
Right. Yeah. I get so tired of people saying it, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's all of it is like, do you love me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's never like, hey, I really love you. It's always like,
there's an amazing Kiss song called I Still Love You. Oh, fucking clear the room when that fucking song comes on. It's like, really? It's the best. It's the best. One of the best. Like for a breakup, one of the best songs that you could listen to.
Okay.
It's on Creatures of the Night. Go check it out.
Oh, Creatures of the Night.
Yeah. It's great.
Dude, I'm going to have to. But
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong. There is a whole lot of like, even when they began, their music was very like, we're fucking awesome. Like that was their
We are fucking awesome. Right. That was their whole vibe.
Literally, album number 1 has a song about convincing your girlfriend to have anal sex. Album number 1.
What's that song?
It's called Nothing to Lose. Nothing to Lose.
See, this is what I'm saying. It does matter if you know what's going on or not.
Because I had listen to the lyrics?
No idea that was. Well, what the fuck is Baby Driver then? What the fuck is that?
Literally, the lyrics in Nothing to Lose. He goes, the second lyric of the first verse is, I thought I'd back the back door.
Oh, right. What to
say. And then he proceeds to sing, she didn't want to do it, but she did
anyway.
Oh. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to. Oh, that's a fucking banger. Because you know what? Why should we demonize anal sex? People get off.
No, we're not doing it. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm just saying,
as long as you're not harming anybody else or any.
No.
You're fine.
Sure, plenty of reasons just to put things in your butt or whatever. It's all good, or in someone else's butt. I don't care. That's not what.
To be completely honest, this may be the drinks talking. I'm very.
Oh, this is great. Shut it off. Oh no, I'm kidding. Right? Okay, I'm kidding.
No, this is not. It's not giving any.
Okay. By the way, this may be the lingo, but I got a butt plug in right now.
No, I don't. Because I'm so boring that I don't even enjoy that. I don't even enjoy that, and I wish that I did. Because, there's a really great quote. There's a really great quote. Come on. Get your pedestrian ass together.
Dude, I'm all good with this. I just had no idea this was going to veer into this conversation. Welcome to
But I wish that I enjoyed different things, but I am a very bored person in that.
Sure. Oh.
But I remember there's a great quote by Henry Rollins in one of his spoken word things. Where he's like, how great would it be to be bisexual, where you just walk into a room and you're like, oh yeah, it's like
everybody right? Yeah.
Fair game,
right.
And I wish that was me. I would love to be like that, whatever it is, bring it my way. I'm into it.
Sure.
And I'm not, as I told you before. Right. I'd go backstage and I'd be like, sorry, girls, I can't. I'm just gonna go take a nap.
Right.
I just played a rock show, guys. I don't have that kind of energy.
Right. That's how I wanted to connect with you, is by playing you my music. And I don't really feel that it's necessary for us to have sex right now. But thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's been nice to meet you. What's your name? Becky? Nice to meet you, Becky. I hope you have a great night.
By the way, I don't do it in the butt either.
No, I don't know. This is, yeah. I've never done that.
In mine. If somebody else likes it,
sure.
Not in mine.
Look, man, there's no judgment here, bro.
Yeah, but just like Miles Davis, I have tried it and I don't like it. So there you go.
But what?
Miles Davis, anal sex, it's the same kind of thing where it's just like, what? I understand that some people really like it. It's just not for me.
Right. I am also boring.
That's got to be the first time that Miles Davis and anal sex have been.
Well, yeah, because I was like really trying to figure out where you're going with that and why. You know, like what quote are you reading from Miles Davis? Where he's like, and it's just like.
When my God. Miles Davis did that famous quote where he said, "What about put it in my butt?"
Yeah, and I'm like, and then, oh man, you're gonna hear from his family. No, you're gonna hear from the Miles Davis estate at this point. Hey, you guys really need to not talk about Miles Davis.
It's like it's not Miles Davis. Who's the old rock and roll guy who was apparently really dirty? Was it Chuck Berry or was it somebody?
Chuck Berry? Yeah, he had cameras in bathrooms and stuff.
That was Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry. My Ding-a-Ling. Was that about something weird?
The fucking but like here's the thing. Like that's what I'm talking about. When you're a fan of music and you understand the trajectory of music, you hear about some of the awful stuff that Chuck Berry did, but also he kind of like created rock and roll. So it's like pee on people if you want to, as long as you create rock and roll. I'm fine with that.
Right. Well, there's a bit right.
If we start nitpicking everything, we're not going to have anything fun to do anymore.
No, that is true. That is probably true that we're not going to have anything fun to do anymore.
All our music's going to be Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians all the time. That's all it's going to be.
They should have an Edie Brickell.
No offense to her. No offense to her.
No. She's great. There's a lot. She could say a lot of words.
Yeah.
She's very good at talking. I think they should have an Edie Brickell and the New Bohemian cereal.
And
then there could be a record on the back of that sucker. That'd be awesome.
And guess who would not buy it? Me. I would not buy
it. But would anyone in your household buy it?
No, nobody. You know what I would buy? But maybe here's a good one. Why don't we do a Limp Bizkit cereal record and make the cereal Limp Bizkits?
Limp Bizkits.
That sounds great. That seems like
doesn't it?
Opportunity with Limp Bizkit is they should have done
rock and roll cereals. There should be a rock and roll cereal line.
Rock and roll cereals. We've really done something important right at the end here.
Right at the end. Goodbye.
Bye.
Just like that one. We're not going to top that one. It's not going to get topped. If we could just
go ahead.
What happened? No, I was just going to say you're going to have to do some kind of weird thing other than like milk.
Oh, it's going to be hot dog flavored water.
Oh, yes.
Because of the album title. Hot dog flavored water. Chocolate Star. The cereal is going to look like chocolate starfish, and the water is going to taste like hot dog flavored water, and it's going to be called Limp Bizkit cereal, and there will be a record on the back that you put it on.
Right.
And he's just
this is going to be big.
John Otto, take him to the Matthews Bridge. That's what's going to happen when you put it. Do you know? Here's the reason why. Okay. I've started to refer to myself on air. If you look at any of my, you don't go on social media, but on all my social medias, on the description about me, it says YouTuber, podcaster, and perpetual outlier. Like that's what I put because I literally just talked to you about how Miles Davis didn't do anything for me, but Limp Bizkit does.
Yeah, you were into that.
So that is why like, my entire world, like when people like get really critical or really up in arms about shit that I say, I'm all like, I'm talking about me. I'm not trying to like say that what I'm saying is correct for anybody but me. But just in case there's that other person who's like, hey, I too think that Limp Bizkit is better than Miles Davis. That's where we connect. I connect with people that way.
Okay. So I'm imagining since the internet exists, you're going to find somebody who says that.
Yeah, probably. But the weird thing about my life is I'll meet those kind of people and I'll be like, ugh, I don't want to hang out with you.
What are you? What should I be worried about? You? He just said that he liked Limp. Hey, maybe this is right.
I mostly don't like people. Okay, so you're lucky here.
I feel lucky, but come on, you don't really. I love people.
You know what?
You don't love people.
Here's look. We're gonna wrap up. I love some people. I love some people.
Okay, right on.
I'm gonna wrap this up by saying you're welcome. because the last episode we did, you said, I hope that you get drunk and I get to see a little bit of Steven.
That's why we did it on a weekend and not a weekday. And there you go, my friend.
And so here you go. This is what I'm like when I'm drunk. Like I don't get much drunker than this. This is kind of what it is.
Nice. Right.
I've never been that person that like goes, I don't remember what happened last night, because if I get drunk to a certain point, I become so uncomfortable that I'm like, oh, I just want to go to bed. Can I just go to bed?
Same.
Yeah.
My body just shuts down.
In most nights, I'm never like this. This is a special.
Oh no, it's just this is Saturday night, man.
Most nights, most weekend nights, even when I'm sitting in this chair listening to music, I just get like a slight buzz going on.
Sure.
Yeah, and then about 11:30, I just go. I'm gonna go to bed. Going to bed.
What is your feeling about headphones? Do you ever listen to your music in headphones?
No.
Always out of the stereo, always in the room.
Yeah, I love hearing it coming out of the stereo, because that's how I guess that's how I grew up listening to music, because I would be in my room and I would buy a new album and I would be sit right in the front of the stereo with the speakers here, lyrics out. And that's just like how I like filling a room with music, or really my house, because my door is open when I listen to music, and so everybody knows what I'm listening to. So
right on. And you are in a house.
Yeah, I'm in a house.
Not an apartment or a condo. You don't have a joined wall with somebody else, and so you don't have that to worry about.
And to be fair, I live in what's considered the most dangerous neighborhood of Houston, and so other people play way louder music than I play.
Okay, right on.
My neighbor next door, he's cool as fuck. But I remember when I first met him, we were hanging outside and talking and chatting about stuff. And at one point he went to go stretch and he just had a gun in his waistband.
Just had a gun. Sure. Well, it's Texas, right? It's just Texas, right? I mean, I don't know. Is that true for Texas? Is it open carry? No. Is it open carry in Texas, by the way?
You don't even have to have an open carry license in Texas.
Yeah, you could just have one.
But here's never mind. I'm going to say this.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Somebody's going to be mad at this. This is a true fact.
Okay.
Because it was not a white guy, I wasn't threatened. I had no problem with him having a gun.
Yeah, well,
I said usually, folks, bye. Everybody unsubscribe.
Oh, okay, so it's been really great to know you, and we will. This is the last show, the second show, the last show.
I'm just going to go on record and say, mass shooters, who are they? Mostly?
100% white people.
They're mostly
100% white people. It's 100% white people.
Which is a big reason why I color my hair purple. Because I'm all like, please notice that I'm not one of those.
Okay, right. Except for who knows, man. Hey, wow. Who knows? I'm gonna be very, very. I love people.
Can I ask you a request for the next time we do one of these?
Yes, please.
You need to be drinking way more.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you to
do
say.
What you want. You do what you want.
Yeah. I have been off.
As bad religion said, do what you want.
Do what you want. I have been off of stuff now for.
Do you not drink?
I do occasionally. Yes, occasionally. Okay. Yeah, I do for sure. Yeah, man. I've just. Well, I'm 56, so I got 10 more years. So I've been, plowing this stuff in for a while longer, and I'm just
I feel like we got serious.
Well, I kind of feel like I should be at some point. I should be like, hey, that was a thing that I did, and that was a lot of fun. But wow, So anyway, I've been, just trying to figure out what's going on with sobriety. You know what I mean? But I mean, hey, whatever. I'll find something to drink. It'll probably be something that I'll get. It'll be a martini or something, and we'll have ourselves a good time. Gordon's. And remember, ladies and gentlemen.
You can find this in your local liquor store.
Tack, tack, tack. Tick, 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 tick.
If you drop it on the floor, it makes barely any noise at all.
It bounces, dude. It bounces. Oh, that would have been a good. Okay.
My Soda Stream stuff.
Yeah, man.
That's my mixer. I do.
No, you like
sparkling
that.
Waters with my liquor. Anyway,
okay.
I want to go on record and say that I respect sobriety, respect it. So when people are trying to do that, like that's why, like I used to do a lot of videos where I'm all like, I'm drinking a beer, and I stopped doing that because I'm just like, I don't want to be that guy that like alienates those people that, because you know, if you literally have an addiction, then you might be triggered by that kind of thing and be like, oh, I don't want to watch your shit. And I was like, well, alcohol is not that important to me, so I don't want that to be my personality.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
So I totally get that, because I'm the first person to tell you that the number one reason why I drink is not because I necessarily enjoy it. It's because I am self-medicating. So because I'm able to open up and have way more of a good time, because this makes my anxiety and my self-consciousness like fade away.
Sure.
You know? But the problem with that is that in the morning, I immediately go, oh, what did I say? Was I talking about like anal sex and Paul Stanley in the same show?
And Paul Stanley in the same, right. Yeah.
For those of you who are stuck around this long watching this,
congratulations.
This has been a fucking treat for you.
It has been a treat, and thank you very much.
Because I never, this is never a video that I do.
Well, you know what? If it doesn't get posted on Friday, it'll be because you wake up tomorrow and be
it's coming out. I'm all about realism.
Okay. Man, dude, that's awesome.
I'm about being honest.
Until next month, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, that's a good. Yeah, this is great. You're like a professional already.
Exactly. Dude. Thank you so much for tuning into Old Head Channel.
No, it's not. It's the Smirl channel. Thank you for turning into Old Smirl.
Oh yeah. That's just me, though. I am just Old Smirl. Like, that's not combining anything with anything.
Right. Well, thank you for tuning into whatever the name of the show is, because
that we can't say. You can read it, but we're not going to say it.
The show because
we're not,
because it's
Latin.
Yeah,
it's more.
Who
it's Latin.
And we speaks that anymore.
We can't pronounce it, but it's hilarious. Look it up. Look it up. Dictionary. Right. Yeah. All right, man.
All right, everybody, go with God. Or whatever they say. Vaya con Dios.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-doom.